Yes, Spurs fans, welcome back to the Irish Hotspur here after a great win against Dortmund just the other night when we had pretty much no players to pick from, but we ended up having one of the best performances for a while now. Of course, it's a pretty low bar, it's a pretty low standard, but let's be honest, I think going into that game, majority of us were thinking, how bad is this going to go? I think a lot of people were even predicting potentially a loss, and even Dermatron, plenty of happy clappers like myself, were not too optimistic going into that game, and it's pretty easy business against Dortmund for the most part. We're going to be chatting about the game, chatting about Thomas Frank's future as per usual, but also there's been some transfer rumors that have come out just recently with Kinski potentially going over to West Ham and then us taking their backup goalkeeper. One of the stranger transfer stories I've ever seen, just swapping backup goalkeepers between ourselves and West Ham. All of a sudden, we're doing more deals with West Ham than I can ever remember, really. And then also there's going to be potentially a move for Crescencio Somerville, which is one of the best names in football, but I'm not too sure if he is one of the best wingers in football. I'm not really too sure if he's someone that is going to be able to change our fortune and fix the attack in the way that we really need someone to. But Dave, I mean, yeah, I think that's the agenda for today. Talk about last night's game, how unexpected that did come, and then also some of the underwhelming, let's be honest, transfer rumors that have come out today.
I mean, this is the thing, you win last night when no one expects you to, and then you come out, and then rumors like that come out today about Sensio Somerville. Guys had one good game this season, and that was against us, and we're going to sign him off the back of it. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. Like, where's the ambition? I'm not being funny, but is Somerville better than any of the other options we have? Like, Miles better? Like, so where's the improvement? Then you look at the guy coming in for Kinski on the swap deal. I mean, what's all that about? It's just absolutely madness. And let's not forget, the Lewis family in Vinay came out with statements earlier on the season about ambition, wanted to return the club back to its glory days. And these are the players that they're bringing in. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling. It's like you can't enjoy anything good at Tottenham Hotspur for more than 24 hours, if even. It's so frustrating.
Would have been nice if we just had no transfer rumors. Yeah,
instead no transfer rumors whatsoever. But look, to be fair, in terms of last night's game, I mean, look, it was a good watch in the first half. I know a lot of people may be frustrated we didn't kick off in the second half and go and put 4 or 5 by Dortmund when they were there for the taking. You would argue we had a couple of chances on the counter, real good chances, Mawani, Porro, that maybe they could have glossed up the scoreline a little bit. But at the end of the day, at Tottenham, all us fans, all we want to do is just win games of football. So credit where credit is due. Does it still mean Frank is right for the long term off the back of one game? No, it doesn't. He's got to follow up 2, 3, 4 or 5 games. There's a good chance on the weekend to follow up and build a little bit of positivity, a little bit of momentum, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah. And also, I have to be fair. I even said, even though the second half wasn't that exciting, there was a pretty logical explanation for it. And that Spurs are so threadbare at the minute, dude, that you really expected them to come out the gates the same way they did in the first half. I think when you are down to so few players, you do kind of have to pick and choose when you are going to really go for the game. And rightfully so, they went for it from the off, in the first half. And they were able to grab a very comfortable 2-0 lead. And they were able to hold on to it. It's not like Dortmund really threatened all that much. They got a lot more possession in the second half, but I wouldn't say they really peppered us or really caused us that many problems. So for the most part, a very tidy 2-0 win, really. And I don't think anyone should be complaining about that. I am actually surprised that I have seen some people criticize the second half performance. It's just like, I mean, come on, we're at a pretty low standard right now. I think we can take what we were given last night for the most part. We're going to get this going, though. We, of course, have plenty of people in the back end that do want to have their say. If you guys would like to have your say, the membership is pinned at the top of the chat for all the fan show members that come in, have a nice little sit down with us and talk about everything Spurs, from transfer rumors to last night's game and just anything that might be on their minds. And we'll get the show underway. Let's go over to Harmless Potato. We are so back. Seriously, good game, good win. And if we keep playing like that, which I doubt, though, then there will be a way back for Thomas Frank. Yeah, we'll see if it continues this way. Harmless Potato, you have to pick up a win against Burnley. And then if he is somehow able to survive that very difficult February fixture period with maybe a win or two there, you never know. Maybe he could claw his way back. I'm not too confident, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be too down on Thomas Frank, at least right now, because that was a very decent win. Niall O'Connor saying Somerville and some keeper swap the 21st on January. What are we even doing here? Building a squad for the championship at this rate. Come on, you Spurs.
Absolutely
I agree with you now. Sugar Ray, big up Sugar Ray. Hopefully you're all right, my friend. He's saying we want Diamande and another forward. Please come on, you Spurs. I'm very underwhelmed, Sugar Ray, by the Somerville link. Just for me, Dave, I don't think he's really any better than Matisse Tell or Odebear, who we already are kind of thinking about. Okay, let's give them their opportunity with all the injuries. They're young, they're talented. what's the point of signing Somerville? It's like buying sort of the same player.
It's just annoying because our biggest problem up in the final third is end product. Consistent end product. What's the one thing everyone bemoans about Senso Somerville? A lot of West Ham fans, end product. So
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't solve an issue, and this is the big problem. It's just filling out the squad with more bang average sort of players,
Yeah.
that are not going to improve Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah. It screams to me as a very Johan Lange signing, Sugar Ray, to be perfectly honest.
See, this is the problem though, Jack. The guy only knows how to go and get, players that want to move, to get out of the situations they're in or making the step up. Because Tottenham is a step up to West Ham. It's a step up to Leeds for Archie Gray, for Bergvall, players like that. But he doesn't have the nous to really get in game-changing signings for Tottenham. I mean, there's a reason why the club are keeping Paratici to the end of the January transfer window and not letting him go. Now, Fiorentina are in big trouble in Serie A. They would want him in now to be able to conduct transfer business. But there's a reason why the club are holding him back here to the end of January, because they believe that if we were to pull off a major signing, he's the guy to do it over Johan
He's the
Lange. I
only
mean,
one.
there's no surprise that Aston Villa got rid of the guy, made him, what was that guy's name? Munchies, T-Bitch, or whatever the guy they brought in from Sevilla. They made him his T-boy, got rid of him. And look where they are now. Look at some of the caliber of players that they've brought in, that they would have no business of bringing in. And then we bring in Johan Lange, and look where we're falling because of the signings.
Yeah.
It's madness.
Paul Brown, always good to see you, man. He's saying, good evening, lads. Not usual deflated feeling, which we've come to expect and get used to. Long may it continue. I think that was a funny joke that Dave was alluding to. That it would have actually been nice, Paul, if we just were able to bask in the win from yesterday and then have there be no transfer rumors today. The transfer rumors today just so underwhelming. It's almost slightly hurt the mood, I would say, a little bit, Paul. Maybe we'll just ignore it. But we do have to talk about it. Appreciate you, Paul. Thanks for the generous support, as well as Logan T, Jeff C. Thank you, Logan. He sent in a popcorn super sticker. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, my man. I do like the fan shows. It allows Dave and I to shut up and just listen to what other people have to say. But I imagine this will be a relatively calm fan show. We'll be able to, of course, compliment the win and then talk about what's ahead. And then, of course, we'll chat about some of the transfer rumors as well. King Hoddle, good to see you. We have the one and only Chris, who likes to be called Frank Out. Simon Coley's in the house. Good to see you, Simon Coley. Very, very funny chat yesterday, if I remember, that he sent in. Dan Coy's, good to see you, Dan. Evening, Dave and Jack, and going to celebrate the win as we don't get many. We need consistency. 2 times we won 3-0, then 4-0 in the Champions League, only followed by a 2-2 draw against United, and then a 3-0 loss against Forest. That's the thing. Like, I'd understand if, we're struggling against some of the top Premier League outfits, but what's amazing is that we're beating teams like Dortmund so handily, and then we drop points to teams like Wolves or teams like Forest, that are at the bottom end of the table. Like, I'd like to think that Borussia Dortmund, or at least on some sort of level close to the teams at the bottom of the Premier League. I know that there is a huge gap between the Premier League and the other leagues around Europe, but you would like to think that Borussia Dortmund are better than some of the teams that we've been absolutely dismantled by in the Premier League. Dropkick Your Teacher saying, just a caveat for Burnley. Remember, we played well against PSG, then lost to Fulham. That's a perfect case example, right? We actually had a good game against PSG and then got dismantled by Fulham, dominated against Slavia Prague, and then on to the Forest game. Don't be fooled by our European performances, lads. I probably will be fooled for the most part, Dropkick Your Teacher, but I totally could see how calmer heads might prevail and sort of wait to see what happens on the weekend. Big up to you, Artist T. Hopefully everything's good with you. We also have Shemi Tans in the house. Good to see you, Shem Tan. Vandal Ross is in here. Big up to you, Vandal Ross. I hope we don't go and lose to Burnley on the weekend. I think that's on the back of everyone's minds right now, Vandal. Playful Spurs, Paul Connor. Evening, lads. Hope you're both well. I'm still working, but I will try and get on. Hopefully we get a good amount of people to come on, Paul, and then you could be the closer for the evening. But do just let us know. And also, if there's any chance that you ever can come on nice and early, Paul, we'd be happy to push you up to the front, because I know you've been meaning and been wanting to get on for a long time now. So big up to you, Paul. Kieran Spiteri, sup, Dave and Jack. Big up to you. May have won the game, but I still want Frank out. We need a manager that can build the squad and bring Poch back. Definitely a lot of you would agree with that. We also have Wayne Bonner. Big up, Wayno. Good evening, folks. Hope you're all well. Frank, if they stick with him, won't be here after the season's end. Long as a clueless prick, jog him on. Martin Knightsbridge is in here. Good to see you, Martin. I'm so excited about getting a West Ham failed goalkeeper. Seriously, man. I just wish they just didn't put out any transfer rumors today, to be honest, Martin. They kind of killed the high. Druzilla saying, big up, lads. So far from being back, and but every journey starts with a single step, and all that bollocks stands to reason. There's a shit show coming against Burnley. Yeah, Drew. I mean, I had to make the joke, that Spurs are back, after the 1 win. But I think we're all pushing towards the weekend to see what actually happens there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if I were to be super realistic, even after a Burnley win, no matter how good the win is, we would still have to see, I think, more results and better performance after that. It's been a tough slog of late, but definitely agree with everything you said there,
Yeah.
Druzilla. And then
Big up
last and
Drewski.
certainly not least, Logan THFC saying, I seriously hope we can kick on after yesterday's win. If not, then Choo Choo is gone after Burnley. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the first questions we'll be asking Logan is like, if we do end up dropping points to Burnley, does he kind of have to go then after that? Has he just delayed the inevitable sacking maybe by a game? So we will be asking that. He's never been the guy for me. Neither for me. Drew,
No,
neither for me.
same here.
But we're going to, Dave and I tried to be as fair as possible yesterday, Drew. Yeah, we showed him his praise. I think he got the formation right. He got the tactics right. Kind of went with the team selection, I think, pretty well, too. So, everyone's due their praise, even if you might not be the biggest fan of the guy.
The thing is, you got to give praise where praise is due. If not, it's just an agenda then. At the end of the day, you always want Tottenham to win a game. And just because he's won one game doesn't mean everyone's changing their opinion. This guy's still going to be the right guy long term. I think most fans have already made up their mind off a large portion sample size of what they've seen this season that ultimately moving forward long term, this is not the guy to bring the club forward.
100%. 100%. We're going to get this show underway. If anyone would like to stop the show, throw in a comment. We'll be happy to put them up on screen and ask our guests. And if you did want to support the channel like Logan THFC has, we would really appreciate it. It does help out the channel a ton. Let's get this going with the one and only Brad Matthews.
Let's go.
Hey,
hello.
Brad.
How you going?
Good to have you back with us.
Yeah,
you saw that question.
Long time back to the old setup. But
yeah.
Hey, we're back, baby. We're back, baby.
Back on the old couch, back on the old setup.
Yeah, we're closer because of our goal difference. We're closer to fourth place and we're off in the relegation zone. So we're going to win the Champions League. We're going to finish third or fourth. Frank's going to be there for the next 4 or 5 years. No, of course I'm joking, obviously.
Were you at the game last night, Brad?
No, I didn't go, and I'll tell you why I didn't go. I had a ticket for it. I went to the West Ham game on Saturday, and I've never seen such a crowd reaction.
Yeah, that was tough.
I've never seen home team fans, let alone our fans, sing "Sacked in the Morning." And you probably saw it on TV when he tried to clap the fans. There were individuals, you could hear them saying, "Get out of our club." It was toxic. And I thought to myself, that position is now untenable because he would literally, what I've just said about winning the Champions League and finishing fourth, he would literally have to do that to get the fans back on side.
Yeah.
And I left there thinking, you know what? I can't be arsed going on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Then it just so happened that I couldn't get any time off work, so I had to work and I wouldn't have made it to the ground anyway. And
I was just going to say it would have been typical Tottenham. You make the decision not to go, and then they win.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, I didn't go to the Fulham game, or the Villa game. So but so that was why I didn't go last night. I probably saved myself £20 or £30 on food and drinks. My ticket was paid for back in December. But no, I thought okay, let's be honest. We played against 10 men for 60 minutes, but a win's a win, and I thought it was a good win. I think for some reason the players in the Champions League seem to play with no fear. They seem to want to do things and try things and play quickly, and they did that last night. And I just wonder whether they actually mentally or subconsciously go in there thinking, well, we ain't going to win the Champions League, so let's give it a go. Whereas there's more pressure in the Premier League, more pressure in the FA Cup, League Cup, that sort of thing. And it just seems to be the case, and it's really strange. I was making a joke off stage that maybe we should apply to join the Belgium League or something, or maybe even the Dutch League. I think we'd probably win those. But no, in all seriousness, it was a good performance. We could have scored more goals in the second half, but we had chances. Dortmund never really threatened us. I think Vic made one really good save near the end, but that was about it, really. But a good performance and a good win. But you could argue that Thomas Frank got his selection right. I wondered why Jed Spence was on the left, and we saw how well he played on that left wing position. But yeah, I think someone else said earlier, a stop clock is right twice a day. So, he may have done well last night and got it right last night, but other times he hasn't. Best example I can think of is taking Teloff for Mawani taking Teloff on Saturday and not Mawani. I mean, that was a ridiculous decision. But anyway, we won, but he's still got to go. We still got to go to Burnley and win there.
Mhm.
And then we got 4 incredibly difficult games. So no, it's not by any means over. It was good. It was a promising win. It means that we probably, we do need to beat Frankfurt next week. Frankfurt aren't the team they were last season. They're currently drawing with Quarabag, I think, at the moment. So we win them and we go into the top 8 and we go straight for into the knockout stage. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah. Pretty incredible, right? The difference where we are in the league and then in the Champions League. I mean, to even be in 4th position in the Champions League is
Yeah,
incredible compared to where we are in the Premier League.
Yeah, we're behind like Real Madrid and, all these sort of Bayern Munich, all these sort of, you got, I won't mention the other team.
We
But,
have more points than PSG.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. So, but I think it's down to this. They seem to play with less fear in the Champions League. And I think it's down to the fact that there's probably less pressure on them. People would say, oh, there's pressure on them after Saturday, and maybe they're right. But I think generally speaking, in the Champions League, it's, well, maybe subconsciously they're thinking, well, we don't really have to win. We're not going to win this. So we can, let's try and do things, So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? I was actually pleased with. I actually quite like the way that Gray and Bergwall play. I think they sort of play well together. Odeberg again showed he has got some ability. He does beat his man when he wants to, and if he could do that more consistently and get the balls in more consistently, that's a good thing. Dominic Solanke coming back means we've got a focal point up front, which I don't think Richarlison was, and I'm really losing hope in Mawani. When he first came, I thought, oh, he looks a bit promising, but no, he's no.
What you make of rumours today on that, Brad, saying that, he sort of wants to leave in order to go and get more football because he wants to be a regular starter?
Yeah, go. I'd rather see Scarlett play than him. I just don't think he hasn't shown things, and he had a couple of chances last night where he should have scored, and he didn't.
That one-on-one with the keeper was insane.
Yeah,
so far, like, all you got to do is knock a bowman tap at him.
Exactly. And I just think that, after the guy I saw score that goal against PSG, I thought, oh, this guy could be good. But every game I've watched since, I mean, yeah, he could be good, and he just hasn't done it. So, no, I'm not, if you think of how much we'd have to spend to keep him here, no, if he wants to go, we got Scarlett in there. I think Lancashire's playing really well. We can maybe call him back from loan. So, yeah. And that also frees up a position for Tell. I think he's actually improved a lot in the last few games. He's certainly trying. And he actually literally got a standing ovation on Saturday because of the decision to take him off, which was so wrong, in my opinion, and a lot of others' opinion.
He's another one that wants to leave, Brad, apparently.
I know. But the rumour I heard, and it's all talk, I suppose, is that he wants to leave if Frank's still there. Well, I guess, Frank's not playing him, has left him out of 2 European squads. So, yeah, why not? You'd probably feel that way, wouldn't you? So, again, I don't know. Look, put it this way, with him, if he left, I wouldn't be heartbroken. But I think there is a player there. He seems to put in a bit. But, as you guys were chatting a few minutes ago, we need to get players that, top-class players if we want to show our ambition. Odeberg, Tell, they got promise, but they're not the finished article. It could take 2 or 3 seasons before they become that. As, in fact, players like Bergvall and Gray, I think they've done incredibly well, but I think we're still a couple of years, 3 years away from seeing them being world beaters, which I think they have got the potential to be. But, yeah, we do need, and, we'll just talk about Somerville. I'd never heard of him until Saturday when he played us. It's like,
we made him look like Vinicius Jr.
Exactly. And as I say, he's no better than what we've got. It's probably, and as for the goalkeepers, well, it's just bollocks. It's just absolute bollocks.
Doesn't it kind of scream of terrible squad planning in that we let that guy Josh Keeley go, who's that young keeper who's now moved away from the club. We brought in Kinski. Kinski turned out not to be good enough. Now Kinski wants to leave. It's a bit of a shit show, really, in terms of.
We got another guy. We got another guy that keeps getting on the bench every now and then. It's Gunter, the under-21s keeper from a few seasons ago. I think he might have been one of the best keepers when we won it a few seasons ago. if we had something like a League Cup run or European games against less Europe, give him a go. I mean, I obviously don't rate the other lad. I can't remember his name at the moment because he's 26.
Austin,
yeah, Austin. I mean, he hasn't done anything dreadfully wrong in my opinion, but they obviously haven't, not given him games. So yeah. It's when you hear about all the ambition and Vinny's letter and all this sort of stuff, why aren't we, okay, there was talk about Adam Morton, wasn't there? I'd love to see Adam Morton at the club, but I can't see that happening because at the moment, Palace have sold Gear and it looks like they're selling that other lad, so they ain't going to sell any more in this window. But why not show ambition and put a bid in? Put the bid in, say, here's 70 million, here's 80 million, here's whatever, and see what they say. We don't seem to. It's just really. I mean, okay, Conor Gallagher. I have to say, I was underwhelmed at first, but the more I read about him and see him, I think, that's probably a good signing. And we haven't really got any box-to-box midfield players other than probably Matassar. I don't think anyone else is a proper box-to-box player. So that could be a good signing. And we have got players to come back from injury. Of course, we have, but you can't use that as an excuse. But we need to go and what's the 21st today?
So 21st.
10
Time's
days.
ticking.
Yeah, we signed one player. It's like, I mean, I don't agree with you guys with Lang. I mean, he's not really set the world alight, has he? Really?
Yeah, the Somerville signings is very Johan Lange.
Paul Mitchell's available at the moment, apparently. So, he got about 3 or 4 decent players. I think Alderweireld and Dele Alli, I think.
Yep.
One other I can't think of at the moment. Yes, he worked very well with dare I say, Pochettino. Looking at the summer. I've found it very difficult being a Tottenham supporter lately because I couldn't see any hope. I just couldn't see where we were going to turn the corner. Unless we got silly money offered. Someone bought the club and offered silly money. I mean, again, there's we're going to bring the wages. I'm going to pay the wages. But we got 10 days to go in this window. Okay, you could argue. Well, okay, it's the new board if you want, or new people. Let's give them a chance at this time and then in the summer. But they haven't really done anything. They're talking the talk, but they're not exactly walking the walk. So it's a really funny time to be a Tottenham supporter at the moment. It really is.
Well summarized as always, Brad. You've covered so many things. You're quite a pro. Dave and I barely even need to ask you any questions. And you've done a great job from the games to the transfers. And we put in your channel here, Brad, in case there's any new and upcoming music.
I'm working on. Hey, hiya, Shem. I'm working on a new song at the moment. I always have a break after the Christmas song, so I think my next song might be quite topical. Speaking of a little WhatsApp conversation we've recently had, Jack. So
I'll get back to you.
Yeah. I did have something else to say about the football. I can't remember what it was now. Yeah, about ambition, about the guys. That's what I wanted to say. This probably goes back in history, but I think you remember when Daniel Levy about 2 or 3 years ago, where I think he got interviewed and he said the fair play rules and all these new rules and regulations they're bringing in. We're going to be ready for that. We're not going to break them. And all these teams like Man City and Chelsea are breaking them. They're going to see what's comes to them. And I remember thinking at the time, but that's no good when they have to pay the price. That we're too far behind anyway. And I think that's what's happening at the moment. I think that's exactly what's happening. That's why we're so far away from those teams because Daniel Levy decided. And I don't want to have a go at Daniel Levy. He's gone now. It's old history. But he did we did have that was our thing we wanted to do was, okay, we're going to be squeaky clean. So when all other big clubs have to pay the price, we'll be right there. But
we're still waiting for the big clubs to pay the price. That's
exactly. That could take forever. You know? I haven't got forever.
It's just an excuse Daniel Levy was using to not show ambition, really, and sort of, in his eyes, he would see it as logical people would understand it. To be brutally honest with you, absolutely insanity. But we're still waiting.
It's not logical, is it, though, Dave? Football. It's not. It's
No.
a game of dreaming. It's dreams. That's the way I bumped into about 3 or 4 lads from Ireland on train coming home from West Ham. And I just thought, I said, oh, for you guys, it's probably been a great trip apart from the 90 minutes football that you had to enjoy. I said, I complain about having to make all the journey back to Ealing, and you've got to go all the way back to Ireland. So, yeah.
Do you know what's mad? Even last night, there was a hell of a lot of Irish at the game. It's almost like the Irish ones are filling out the stadium now because everyone else can't be Irish.
They're bringing over the whole country.
And I actually, to be fair, I actually feel guilty because I know there's people that would love to go to the games. Here's me going, oh no, I couldn't be bothered. So I do apologise to anyone that would, take off give their right arm to go to the games.
I don't think there's many that want to be turned up watching this shite.
Being too kind, Brad. You're being too kind.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, by the way.
Yeah, before I go, when are you two guys over next?
I'm not sure if we're making the trip this year. I think we're saving up for next season. This season's been a little bit of a
buzzkill,
of a dead horse.
I can't say I blame you. Can't say I blame you.
I think we'd probably do around the same time. I think it was really nice to visit around May. Weather's nice. Everybody.
Oh yeah. No, coming in decent weather.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do it around the same time next season. But Brad, thanks for coming on, and I'll make sure to get back to you on WhatsApp. And thanks for getting us started as well.
Big up, Brad. Great to see you, man.
All right. Have a good night, Brad. Come on, you Spurs.
Have a good one. Big up, Brad. Good way to get started. That.
He's a pro. You can just let him go, and he just covers everything. It's almost like he's it's like he's an actual professional pundit in the way that he can just go. Big up to Brad, and please subscribe to his channel.
Yeah. Make sure you do get across and subscribe to Brad's channel. He puts out his own music there, doing his own endeavor, and I encourage everybody to get over and show him some support and love on that. But also, just while we're talking about going to games, I mean, it cost Jack thousands of pounds, cost me hundreds of pounds, and to be honest with you, where that's going is straight into Frank's perm for the upkeep, and I'm not providing it. I'm just not.
Well, let's go to the next man who probably doesn't wish he had Frank's perm, and probably maybe still wishes that Frank is gone. But I think we're gonna chat about last night's game. We're gonna go on to Jerome here. Hey, Jerome.
Big up, Jerome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good morning for you.
Yeah.
How are you keeping this morning? What did you make of last night, first of all? What's your thoughts?
Thoughts of last night was like I was telling Jack in the background before. That first 45 minutes, I was like, what the hell am I watching? That's not Tottenham. It's like, how are we cooking Borussia Dortmund like this? It's like the way we're playing is just like, Jesus. I know everybody was going to say, oh, it's 10-man Dortmund. But first 20 minutes before the red card, we were still cooking them like crazy. We did not give them. Yeah, we look really comfortable, and we did not give them one chance. Like, we were trying, we were pushing them every single time, getting the ball away from them. And even Poro looks like a man possessed. I'm like, this is what happens when you free your fullbacks and you tell them, go for it. And Poro was a completely different player yesterday. Udogi was amazing with Jed Spence. And Jed Spence, Jesus Christ, left wing Jed Spence. Who would have thought?
Just goes to show like, our players ain't as bad as people make out, right?
Yeah, that's what I joke about too.
Yeah.
Are you Frank in now after that one yesterday?
Hell no, it's not. It's not that, because to me, it's the same thing. We played well against Man City. We played well against PSG. Now we played really well against Dortmund. Who's going to tell us that we're going to do this play shit against Burnley? So I'm not having this, man. It's like, this is the way he does is like, when the team is better than us, he would literally look at them and go, this is how we're going to beat them. But if his team is not as good as us, why would you not say, play the same way, go and attack them instead of trying to play and counter them or something like that? It's Burnley, man. Go for it. But I'm pretty sure it's just going to be like a disaster class, just like West Ham. And to be honest, it's really lucky the fans has been pushed to today, because I was so angry, man. I was like so furious. I was coming in, I was like so angry. But at least we had this game, but like made my anger go like at least go down a little bit, because that was embarrassing, man. It's like this was the most embarrassing display that I could see. And now after this, I'm hearing now that we are taking Somerville. We're trying to push for Somerville. I'm like, he had one good game against us, and now we're trying to get this guy. I'm like, the hell is this, man? But anyway, it's just laziness, just the laziness of Johan Lang. I'm like, I never thought I was going to say somebody is worse than Hitchen. This guy is actually worse, man.
Yeah.
Worse than Hitchen. I'm like, what the hell? Like, so lazy. Like, this is lazy signings, man. I'm like, come on. This is ridiculous. But anyway, it is what it is. That's Tottenham. But one thing about the owners and the recruitment, people are going on about like, oh, the owners need to sell up, things like that. To be honest, though, they injected money in the summer. They probably injected money again for this January, but it's just recruitment again, failing us time and time again. We can bring Conor Gallagher, which is a decent signing. For them, it's like, oh, we did our job this window. We got them a marquee signing, and then we try whatever we can get. If we can't, then we just get somebody who's just like some not even a decent, just some player somewhere just to get them in and just to fill in the gap. That's about it. But it's just ridiculous, man. I really hope that the guy that's coming from Man City really sees this and just tell Johan Lang just to get out, get him sacked, because the way he does things is like, nah, man, the recruitment for us got even worse recruitment ever. I mean, like, yeah.
As long as Frank is here, do you think Johan Lang stays here? Because I know they work together; they're really good friends. And to be fair, as a manager, if you, a lot of clubs operate now under the director of football, which means they're the ones bringing in the players up to manage to work with it. So the manager does have to have some relationship with the director of football in order to try and bring in the players or at least the profile of players maybe that the manager would like. Do you think Johan Lang is here as long as Frank is here?
Oh, yeah, he will be here, unfortunately, because those two, they do have a relationship, we know each other. But seriously, as a manager, you know what kind of player you want. Somerville is not the type of player you want to bring. This guy had one good game against Tottenham, and that's about it. I'm like, seriously, why are we going about a player I've even barely heard of before? I don't even know who he was until he played us. I thought he was a new signing for West Ham. I'm like, they must be laughing at us thinking if you're taking Somerville, because it's like, those guys are stupid. Like,
can you cling on to the fact? I saw someone, maybe it was Logan THFC, who said this in the chat. I don't want Somerville, but he did say, like, why would they sell him to us unless they were really desperate to get rid of him, because they are in a relegation battle anyways right now.
Yeah.
So why would they sell us more of their players to be the goalkeeper one? Kind of makes sense because maybe the Kinski is coming in to be the number one over there. But for them to sell us Somerville, it wouldn't make a lot of sense, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. We are battling relegation anyway, so why would they sell us? But who knows?
We're battling relegation with them, to be honest, at this stage.
Yeah.
So, it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Like, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Nuno is able to save them from relegation. So this is where I'm worried about, because this game could be like a turnaround for them, and then after that we have an ascendancy, because the game coming after us, like the game coming in February, is really bad for us. If you look at there, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. So Nuno can pull it out of the hat. But yeah. But the question from AK Shag, we're not winning the Champions League, man. No, not this time.
on this, Jerome, let me ask you, you see the record of our 24 games unbeaten at home in Europe.
Yeah.
Why is our European record so much better than our campaign record? Is it because maybe the Premier League is more competitive than maybe Europe, or with this new format, the way Europe is? Or, do you think psychologically the players is just up for the Champions League more than what they are the domestic campaign? What's your thoughts on that?
I believe Europe is more, it's like the players are more up for it. for European games because pretty much it's a big stage for them. They are showing them pretty much in terms of the whole world what they are capable of. Because I don't believe it's like, I can't believe like we can say like the Champions League level is not as high as the league. It's like lower now. I can't believe the new format and everything because there's still decent team playing in there, like really good teams that we have to play against. So I don't believe it's that. I just believe it's like the players are more up for it. It's the same thing like we saw for the Europa League. It's a completely different team that goes and play during the Europa League night. A team that's more focused, more attacking, they're more accurate compared to what we see in the league. In the league, they just give up on it. Like, for example, it's just like, if they know seriously they're not going to get relegated, we're just going to go, the league is done. Let's focus on the Champions League or focus on the Europa League and things like that. But sorry, not this time. It's not possible. Like, we're not going to win the Champions League. There's no way for us to say we are going to win this because as much as we want to lock down the road, we are not losing games, man. We are not losing any games, and we are a really, really good team because I can't deny. I watched them against Inter. Inter is a very good team, and they made them look like really average. The same way we make Dortmund look average. So, yeah, it is. It is going to be like, just imagine if you go to like a semi-final, it's like a North London derby semi-final. Jesus Christ.
I don't want to think about that. To be honest, I'd be overjoyed if we did make it that far in the Champions League, because then that means we did get by some pretty decent opponents, you would think, or at least we have something to cling on to in terms of Europe. But just maybe last question, Jerome. I mean, do you think, Frank? I think you and I are in the same boat. We probably both want him to go, but let's say he doesn't pick up a result against Burnley. Do you think he could be axed after that? Do you think like he just delayed the sacking by one game?
No, it's not going to happen. To be honest, I don't think it's going to happen because
they're going to keep him in charge.
They are going to keep him in charge because we are thinking the same thing as Ange, the injuries and everything that's been happening. Like, we feel sorry for him, saying like we already said, like Vinay already said it. It's like this feeling sorry for Frank because of all the injuries and everything that's been happening with that. So we're not able to compete on all front. But look, at the end of the day, what I said before is, with us fans, we could see from the start, use your eyes. This is what I was saying before. Use your eyes to see that the performance on the pitch was not that great. It doesn't matter what we could see. Like, even though we were winning games, the performance was not always good because like we could see that was not sustainable. But people just wanted to go and say he's better. He's better than Ange because most of them was like, don't like Ange, don't want this, but this guy is better. So this is where he needs to succeed. He needs this, he needs that. But to be honest, it's like, I don't have an issue with Thomas Frank again. I'm not saying he's a shit manager or something like that. He probably is a decent manager for Brentford, for Brighton, for whoever, Fulham, but he's not a Tottenham manager. He's not one for us because the demand we ask in this club is too much for him. It's too much.
100%.
He will not be able to handle.
Absolutely spot on with that. It's way too much for him, even to the point now where he keeps asking us to lower our expectations, lower our demands. And when we've had other managers walk in before and they say, no matter what situation this club is in, I'm the guy. I'm going to win you something. And whether you actually believe it or not, it's inspiring. It's inspiring to people inside the club. But when this guy walks in and says, going to lose games, 100% guarantee you that. There's no belief in what he's doing here. It's not inspiring and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, when you're a big club, you need a manager that's going to come in and take on that responsibility, take on the expectations, not try and lower them to suit him. I think you're absolutely spot on there, Jerome. Yeah.
But to be honest, it's like when he said we are going to lose game, and then he got asked the question again. He said the journalist told him, well, you said Tottenham we're going to guarantee that Tottenham are going to lose games.
Yeah.
Are you happy with this? And he goes, but I was right. I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I know.
Why would you be saying something like that?
Yeah, he didn't
That's
even bother
the worst
to
thing you
explain
could say. Yeah, you should have explained it. You should
He
have
joked
said
about
something
it.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
just say it's not something that I was meaning to say or something like that. He just went, oh yeah, but I was right. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know.
man,
I yeah.
from going from someone to say I always win in my second season to actually meaning it, to now being to someone say we're going to lose games, and then they say I was right about it. Jesus Christ, man, where do we go?
I'm almost
Joking about
expecting
losing.
Frank.
That's the thing. He's the manager, and he's kind of laughing about being proven right
Yeah.
about that.
The thing is, I'm almost expecting him to come out and go, I will lose more games in my second season. Do you know what I mean? It's completely embarrassing.
Well,
Completely
thank you,
embarrassing.
Jerome.
Big
Thanks
up,
for coming
Jerome.
on, man.
Love speaking to you,
Appreciate
my
you.
All
man.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
You have a great day now, lad.
Yeah. Have a good rest of your day, Jerome.
See
See
you.
you,
Man.
Jerome.
Bye.
I love that, man.
Yeah, him and Brad, absolute class. Seasoned professionals in their analysis there. Thank you to Jerome.
Yeah.
Really supportive of this channel too, and really good to have him around during these crazy roller coasters of Tottenham Hotspur. Big up to
It brings
Jerome.
peace to my mind, Jerome does.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just say hello to some people who did pop in. Alan, good to see you as always. Racked Out Madness. He's saying, I heard a rumor from West Ham fan show that we're in for Somerville. Any thoughts about that? There have been rumors about it, Alan. I don't think we're too keen on it, to be honest. I don't think he's really that much of an improvement or any improvement, really, on Matisse Tell or on Odebear. Seems like a very similar type of player in that he's very raw, very young, needs a lot more time to develop, and we need something far better than that. And then there's another rumor with West Ham about us maybe changing goalkeepers with them. Alan, it's crazy. We're doing so much business with West Ham at the minute in time. We also have Stephen J. Cam, who's become a Flat Cap member. Thank you, Stephen J. And he said here that Solanke may not be fully fit, but other attacking players, example Xavi, certainly benefited from his presence. Surely missed this season, or sorely missed this season. Should be a lot better when fully fit. Big up, guys. Great channel. Thanks, Stephen. Very, very kind. I'm a big fan of Solanke's. I think he looked pretty rusty the other night, but I do agree with you that he does offer that very physical presence in either the hold-up play, some of his movement. He also works. I mean, you can never fault him for his work rate because off of the ball, he's always pressing goalkeepers. He's always closing people down. And I do like that about his game as well. And I do feel like he has been missed at times. It would have been nice to have a rotation of him, Colomwani, and Richarlison instead of one of them being injured, then the other one pops out injured. It's not been ideal at all. Stephen J. It's good to have him back.
No, look, I can see in terms of Solanke's hold-up play and that yesterday, it was badly missed. I'm still not convinced by his goal-scoring exploits. I'm still waiting for him to be given a good run of games, full fitness, to really see, if he can be the guy to fire this club to where we need to go. Obviously, he's never going to do it on his own. He's going to need someone else that could come in for him, relieve him, and also add goals to it. But I'm still waiting to be convinced on the guy's finishing. Like last night, I mean, simple flick. How many ricochets did it take to go in before it went in there? And even you see him laughing at it and stuff like that. So I'm still waiting to be convinced, but he has been missed. And in hindsight, you maybe look at it and go, maybe Frank actually did make the right decision in that regard.
Yeah. And Brad saying, cheers all. Forgot to mention Xavi. Very good last night as well. Hopefully our young players will get better and more consistent. Could Poch bring out the best? I think the big benefit of potentially Poch, Brad, is that with Johan Lange, we just continue to sign young, unproven, raw players that are talented. Pochettino is the best manager to try to get the most out of those guys. He's done that time and time again. Whereas Ange was never that sort of manager. Frank is certainly not that type of manager either. So it just seems like we've been signing the wrong profile players for the managers that we currently have. So Pochettino, that is a huge star on his book in terms of he would be the guy to get the most out of all. We have so many young, talented players that just need a lot more time. But Pochettino would be the guy to do that with, whereas the managers that we've recently had, definitely not, to be honest, Brad. But that's just a fault of Johan Lange's, if you ask me, Brad. Q7 saying, I don't think we should believe everything. LOL. Somerville hasn't scored a goal before. Then the kid has one good half. I don't believe we are in for him at all. I hope that's true. And I'm kind of going by similar logic as you. Marquez saying, would you accept Frank to go to have a caretaker Redknapp and sign Poch to start after the World Cup? I'm pro interim manager, to be honest, Marquez, but I can see what Jerome is saying. Jerome, I think, wants Frank out as well, but Jerome, I think, is being realistic in that Frank is in a very similar situation to what Ange Postecoglou was, in that things are going pretty well in Europe. The domestic campaign is not going well, but they're just going to give him every opportunity to do something in the European competitions until it's pretty much over. So it seems eerily similar to last season, to be honest, Marquez. And then good to see Ian Ferguson, and good to see Paul Van Ben as well. Big up to you guys. Really good to have you with us. Let's bring in the lovely Mia and see what she has to say.
Let's go. Oh, good evening, Mia.
Hey, Mia.
Good evening, guys. How you doing?
Not too bad in yourself?
Tired.
You know what? Must be something in the day. I'm feeling a bit tired myself today, actually. Maybe
it's the weather.
I was going to say, maybe it's the win. We're not used to that adrenaline anymore, you know?
So my eyeballs got tired from actually watching attacking football for a change. I got fatigued on my eyeballs.
Yeah, tired of winning. All this winning. This one game.
Where are you at with Thomas Frank now, though, Mia? You know, you see still a lot split amongst the fans.
I think that this doesn't really change anything for me. I think one game isn't enough to show that he's turned it around. I think that he'd have to show a lot more for me personally to actually say, okay, he might be turning things around. So I think that to say that one winning game when we was against 10 men for most of the game is probably not the right sort of way to look at it. If you're already frank out, I think one game isn't enough. So I would still want him gone. I think the fact that he hasn't gone and he wasn't gone at West Ham, I think that actually shows that I think that Vinay is keeping him out of ego because he doesn't want to be wrong about Frank. And he did it with Arteta. So he believes that he's got the knack of keeping managers in against all odds and them to come good. So I think from that, I think that the fact we kept him after West Ham means he's staying for the rest of the season. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, it feels like that if they can see.
It feels like they've sort of backed him in a way by keeping him after the West Ham game.
Well, it was easier to sack him after the West Ham game. No one would have kicked up a fuss. None of the media. Everyone would have understood it. You know, I think the fact that they're keeping this guy, kept him, I think, and the fact that he won last night, I think he's definitely here to the end of January. And if we get outside in the top 8, he'll definitely be here for, the first qualifier round of the Champions League, which essentially probably extends him close enough to the end of the season anyway. But look, with Thomas Frank, do you believe he can change his mindset and his style and approach? Because when you look at last night, right, we went for Dortmund from the off, tried to play on the front foot. And in recent games, when we've gone behind, coming out at halftime, we've gone for teams and we look so much more better. But, the argument is under Thomas Frank, the squad is shit, this, that, and the other. But I don't think it is. I just think this squad is built to play on the front foot, to play football, try and go after teams. And I think that's been the big problem with Thomas Frank and this squad matching up. So do you think Thomas Frank, because the big talk is change the squad for Thomas Frank. We're realistically not going to change 16 to 18 players for this guy. So do you think he can learn and change his approach to games? Because if he does, I think it'll start to appease a lot of the fans.
I think that, I guess that any manager, if you're not going to be stubborn about it, can change, because it was a different formation, Dave, and that formation suits us better by playing the two in the middle and having Xavi a bit further forward, and then like the way we played it was just better attacking wise. Now he hasn't played that this season, so let's see if he maybe sticks with it and says, actually, that was better, it suited our players better, or is he going to go back to how it was before? And I think that will tell you a lot, because if he's learned, maybe he'll stick with that and say, that works for us. So I think any manager's got the capability, but will he? I don't know, because he seems like, even though people saying he's quite adaptable, I don't think he has really adapted, because he's stuck with a lot of things that could have maybe been changed and maybe made a difference. And he's not done that. He continuously was playing the same way. When we had Kudos, it was all about getting it to Kudos. He didn't change anything to maybe make it go, because yesterday we went through more the middle, and it made us such a difference with Xavi, because Xavi was excellent last night. But we haven't been playing that way. We've been either getting it out to the wing or playing some silly long ball. And I think that hasn't suited our players. So I'd like to think that he could change, but will he? Who knows?
I think this whole thing of, sorry, just quickly, Jack. I think this whole thing of, this manager's adaptable. There's no manager in world football anymore that's adaptable. They all have their style of playing, the way they want to play, and they try and implement it. This whole thing is, this guy's adaptable to what the opposition are doing and all. It's just made up. It's a theory that sounds great, but most managers will stick to their principles and what they want to try and do. Because if people go and listen to managers, they're more steadfast now because they live and die by their decisions now because they're not the ones bringing in the players. So, I just think it was a fallacy from the very, very beginning. Anyway, Jack, what do you want to ask me?
I was just going to agree with her that that tactical flexibility he was praised for just hasn't come through this season at all. Like, if anything, he's gotten the tactics very wrong in a lot of games. Times when we should be going for teams, he's decided to sit back, kind of keep the handbrake on. And then other games, he's just gotten completely overrun by other sides. So it's just that whole idea of him sort of picking and choosing when to attack, when to be a bit more defensive. It's just not played out at all, this season under him. So that flexibility just hasn't benefited us.
No, I find as well, like with the players, he kept insisting on being, say, like playing more defensive midfielders when we didn't need to. He wasn't flexible, not just with he can maybe stick with formation, that's absolutely fine, but maybe playing the players to their best abilities when we've got a team that we don't need to worry so much about the midfield being a bit more defensive and go for it a little bit more. He has never done that. He just stuck to the same sort of defensive looking midfield, and I think that has been an issue. Like, I really do. And not giving, like, say when we did have someone who can play on the left, he insisted on keep playing Spence on the left when it hasn't worked because he does cut inside, and when you're playing a lot of the time, that doesn't really work. So, like, there are little tweaks that he could have done, and he just hasn't really done it at all, where it could have made a difference in a game, playing a bit more of an energetic midfield. He had Saar at the beginning playing really well. Then he just dropped him for no reason. He just dropped him. I know we don't see them all the time, and he knows, obviously, because he sees the players a lot, but it just felt like we were really lacking in that midfield, but he didn't really change it. And then when he does change it, it seems to always be at the wrong time. It's never like at the right time.
Yeah. I think Dave has really been frustrated by that any time that someone's played a good game or is shown, to be one of the better players on the pitch, he all of a sudden just benches them the next game. Like, it's like he refuses to give anybody that's played well that sort of extended run of games. He just loves to over-rotate, which is one of the many problems that we've had with Thomas Frank this season.
But you know what I think, Jack? He over-rotates in some areas, but not others. I said when we sold Brennan Johnson, I said, we better get a replacement because I bet you he will get injured. And 7 days later, he got bloody injured. So he was overplaying some players and then mixing it up too much with other, do you know what I mean? With certain players, it just was a bit nonsensical.
I wonder, when he drops players that are on form, is that to do with how he sees? He doesn't want egos around the place. A player that's performing starts feeling confident, this, that, and the other. And I wonder, is that related to his no ego sort of policy, no dickhead sort of policy? And that's why he takes them out, just to give them a little bit of a, I don't know, a sharp reminder. I don't know. It's absolutely madness. Anyway, but just quickly, guys, just an update, as quick as the Somerville rumours have come out, they're starting to be quashed out right now, which is good. West Ham ain't selling. So thank you, West Ham. Never thought I'd say that.
The thing is, if he did do that, Dave, to just knock down their ego, that's a really silly thing to do. Like, I just think that would be so silly, because is it like if you tell someone, "Oh, you've done a good job, but here's a backhand around the head." That's silly. That's not going to encourage them. I understand about egos, but sometimes it depends on what ego they mean. Like, there's good egos where you know that you're a good player and you've got that bit of something about you. Like, Ronaldo's quite an egotistical guy, right? But he was an excellent player in his time, so he sort of was like, well, I guess you've got that ego because and you've proved that you're good. So it ain't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's about your attitude. I think ego's fine. It's your attitude that you have with that ego.
I remember, just why you mentioned Ronaldo, actually, I remember a story I listened to recently of someone that was at Madrid same time as Ronaldo went. What was that Liverpool guy, that manager? Rafa Benitez was in charge of Real Madrid. And I remember he called Ronaldo in to, speak to him about, you're not doing your defensive duties. He put it all on one of these hard drives or something like that. Ronaldo took it with him, came back in the next day, uploaded all his goals onto it, and gave it back to him and said, that's why I don't do the defending. And Rafa Benitez accepted it, to a certain degree. And I just wonder if someone was to do that with Thomas Frank, what he would do. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Anyway, Where do you want to go to next, me? Anything else that's on your mind or on your chest that you want to get off?
I suppose no one's really like spoken because we haven't spoken since the West Ham game, but that just was another lot of being absolutely atrocious. They were like prime Barcelona. How did we allow
Yeah.
them lot from them ends, right? That we absolutely hate. Well, they hate us more, but we hate them because they hate us, and we allowed them to come to our stadium and just bop it about like that. I just don't understand. I just think like the way we set up. So if you can hear the dog snoring, Ozzy's deciding to snore right
No,
near
no,
me.
all good.
Yeah, like they just bopped it about, and we just I don't know. Like, what did Frank tell them to do in that game?
He sat
I
off
just
them, mate. Sat off them and allowed West Ham to become comfortable. That's exactly what happened. You know,
yeah,
he
he
sat
did.
off
He
them,
just
allowed them to pass it around. They start becoming comfortable, and then all of a sudden they then get the motivation to come for us because they're feeling good.
And Joe else is when the things that frustrated me with him as well is the fact that he comes out and says, but we have seen improvement. What improvement are you seeing? Because I am not seeing any of that improvement. But we played well for this, but it's a hard team, and oh my god, like we're at home to West Ham.
Yeah.
Bubble blowing bloody West Ham, and we're gonna
18
let them
West
go
Ham.
away happy.
Insane.
Like, it's just insane. And if he stays for the Arsenal game, I just don't know if I want to even watch it. Like, I just don't know if I do anymore because some of these games, if he doesn't turn this around and he carries on playing like trying to be and being so scared, Arsenal, yes, they're a different proposition, but we should be playing to our strengths, not to worrying about what their strengths are.
To that
And
point, if he plays the way we did at the Emirates, oh, that stadium is going to be vile after the game. Vile.
well, I wouldn't blame anybody because, like I say, at home, I know that it's Arsenal, but at least if we give it a bloody go, like give it a go, man. We can't just sit back like we did. Like it's West Ham; they're about to be relegated. Honestly, I was more fuming, I think, about West Ham than anybody because the fact is we always do like give them a game, and we're pretty good, especially at home with West Ham. And I'm like, why did we give them respect? It's West Ham. So I just, my mind boggles sometimes with some of the decisions and some of the ways that he plays. He took off Tell. He should have taken off Mawani, man. I don't know what Mawani was doing.
Honestly,
You know?
if he's Tell, I'm putting him on a coat peg after full time. I'm slapping him around the face. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to accept that when I'm one of the better players on the pitch. I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's just
In that regard.
And it's a shame with Mawani because I did have a bit of hope for Mawani as well because we've seen him. He can be good, but he just doesn't look like he cares. And a lot of the time for that game, it was like lazy passes, putting the leg out lazily. It was just so haphazard. And like we just didn't care. And that's not how we should be motivated against someone like a team that's going to be soon relegated and, that dislike us. And we want to show them who the big brother is because we've always little broed them. But we didn't at all. It was an absolute joke.
Yeah. I'm with you, Mia, 100%. Anything else that you want to say and also give your channel a plug?
I'm trying to think. With the rumours with like the transfers this year, I've taken this stance of I'm not taking much notice of anybody because you hear so much nonsense. It's hard to decipher what actually is truthful and what's not. Because even the stuff with Thomas Frank, people saying he's getting sacked, he's been sacked, and I was like, no, Sky have just said he's staying, and like people are like, oh, okay, like people just put stuff now on internet and it's rarely very true. So I think with the rumours, I take it all with a bit of pinch of salt. Like, I'm a bit like wary now because I feel like that now so many people claim to be ITKs and you're like, are you though?
Yeah, and I mean they have a hit rate of like 3%. I'm completely agreeing with you. It's just it seems like so many rumors that you hear from so many different ITKs, even like the big ones of Romano to David Ornstein, you just see them get it wrong so many times that you're just like, even the ones that really are supposed to be in the know don't actually seem to know everything. Like even David Ornstein did come out right over the weekend and say, Frank is on the verge of potentially getting sacked. And it's like, well, he hasn't been. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
A lot of people were saying, Jack, that there was a meeting going on. Then they come out. Other people were saying that a bit more like close to the club, saying there was no meeting on the Sunday. So
yeah,
nobody knows, do they? Like, I don't really trust any of those. So when people get irate about transfer rumours, I don't tend to, because I just feel like I take not much notice of them.
You save the stress. Yeah, that's probably
I
smart of you.
save my energy. Yeah, I save my energy with it all, because I just, what will be, and we'll find out when they hold up the shirt, right? Like,
do you know what it is? I'm sort of with you on that, but sometimes there's one that just triggers it. You know, you can't help it. Sometimes it just comes out and it catches you. You know what I mean? Catch you on a bad day.
I think the only ones that would trigger me is if it's like some really like rubbish player that's been so bad and they used to play for Arsenal. I think I would be fuming at that. I'd be like, what the hell is this rumour? Like, why are we getting their dregs? No, that's something I would be mad at. But mostly, like I say, I'm just a bit like, yeah. So I think I've just got in with age comes a bit more of like meh about stuff. You're a bit like, nah, what will be, will be. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't bother to be stressed over if a footballer's coming to my team or not. I'm like,
I just think there needs to be a big understanding around the transfer window that 99% of rumours are fake. It's a big money generator for every media company that prints stuff. And I think there needs to be that understanding from fans in general around it. You know, it's that old saying, don't believe everything the media tells you.
Well, we knew that. We know that from what Richarlison said, because his comment after someone made this rubbish rumour up about him just shows you can't believe everything that's said, especially when they come out and say this player said this or this player's been rumoured to say be like this. Well, it's a load of rubbish. Like they all just want clicks. And then the thing is what makes it worse is that some of the other Tottenham ITKs or big accounts, they circulate that rubbish as well. And then people get their knickers in a twist about it because they think it's true. They're like, it's 100% true because so-and-so said it. Well, is it though?
Yeah, no, I think you're right by pointing out this weekend how many of them were saying that he might be sacked over the weekend. And it's like, well, everything has pointed to actually the opposite. Even though we probably would want it to happen, it's not been the case. I think you're spot on, Mia. Please, everybody, by the way, do subscribe to her channel here. I'll put it in one more time since we got a little lost in that ITK chat, which was nice to have with you. So please, everybody, do support her channel over here. Follow it over. Give her a subscribe. And thank you, Mia.
I would really appreciate the subscribe if you can, if you're interested in what I have to say. In all honesty, I always say this, but it's true. You should always listen to people you don't always agree with, because I think that it's actually really interesting and good to listen to people you don't always agree with and learn why they think the things they do. So I'm always up for conversations. If you don't agree with me, apart from some people like Ryan, who's just going to tell me he's going to give Frank until the end of the season regardless, I've got no time for that conversation. But I'm happy to have conversations with people about their different opinions. So everybody's welcome, even if you don't agree with me.
Very well. Big up.
Appreciate you.
You have a good evening now.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Rest. See you.
An early night.
Yeah.
See you
guys later.
Have a good one.
See you later, Mia.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Please, everyone, get across and smash the subscribe on Mia's channel. She's a very, very kind person. Very nice to myself and Jack. So please get across and show her the love. And some of you guys are already showing her love here in the comments. So make sure you get across and subscribe on that channel.
And we'll keep this thing moving. We're going to go to Daniel Larson, who's been very patient. There he is. Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
Hello. How are you guys?
How are you keeping?
Long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see, man. I think we're
good,
doing a
Daniel.
bit better now that the Somerville rumor has been canceled, of us buying West Ham's winger. I really hoped that wasn't the case, and looks like it might not be true. And Thomas Frank is still on the job by the looks of things, Daniel. So what do you make of the situation with him right now? Do you think he could be on the way out, or do you think Spurs are just going to stick with him no matter what?
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard now. I feel like, you got to keep him now, of course, for the win to the Burnley game. And then you see after that again, it might be, then you sack him again, then maybe wins again, and then you not keep him again. It's like a fucking flip-flop here. Like me. It's like me. Flip-flopping all over the place. Jesus.
Where are
Did you
with
think
Frank?
he was going to get sacked over the weekend, or did you think he was going to be given that Dortmund game?
Well, I thought it was going to get sacked straight after the West Ham game because
Yeah.
that was unacceptable for any manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised they didn't, but it seems like they had I thought I nicknamed it the Last Supper, but maybe it was clear the air talks with them. Where are you with Frank? Do you believe he's the right guy long term to take this club forward?
Well, not really. No, of course. But if he, I still kind of want him to see him succeed for some reason. I don't know why. I just really like him for some reason. Can't
No,
really
look,
explain.
I can understand. The thing is, I don't think he's a bad person or a bad man or anything. I just, in terms of a footballing context,
Yeah.
I just don't agree with what a lot of what he comes out with or the way he sees the game at the end of it. But it doesn't make him a bad person. He's a likable guy. He's a very popular appointment when we brought him in.
Yeah, especially since I wanted him for the longest time. So there's still that, but it's not going to take away that when you use your when results like West Ham happen, you're like, what? And the way his comments, saying like all that for the weeks before, like all the press conferences saying, it's like, what are you talking about? It's like weird, but there's still that little bit of me that wants him to succeed. But
do you think he'll change his approach to appease the Spurs fans? Because, if you've done one thing all your life and it's got you to a certain point, it's very hard when people are telling you need to adapt and change to actually do that or listen to it or believe in it.
Yeah, especially, the way we played yesterday, I couldn't believe, like, what was that? Why can't we play like that? Why couldn't we play like that against West Ham? I don't understand.
Yeah.
If we play like that against West Ham, we would have beaten them 5-0.
I'd like to think that Borussia Dortmund are better than Wolves. I'd like to think that they're better than West Ham. I'd like to think that they're better than some of the teams that we've dropped points against. Daniel, that's just the confusing bit, is that we're losing to teams at the bottom end of the Premier League table.
Yeah, and I understand, of course, the players are, they are better than we are. But again, they need to take responsibility every game then as well, to perform every game, even though, like, I understand, like, game, just Premier League, I know we're not going to get it, but get up for every game. You're getting paid millions for fucking playing the sport that you love.
Could it be
not just one game? Yeah.
Could it be a case, Daniel, that the players are performing? It's just within the system that they're asked to do, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I understand, and that's why I hope that. Okay, I hope that Frank is the way he set them up this game, and that's he realized, okay, this is why I have to play now at home, especially. That's just that slight back of the mind, slight hope that I see. But of course, this club is like, what the what the definition. This club is the definition of what.
I know. It's mind-boggling at times. I'm going to throw a random question at you. It's one that I probably should have put in there, to ask today. But it seems Mickey van der Ven is holding off on a new contract. Reports, that he's holding off on signing a new contract while Thomas Frank is here. Liverpool have been credited with massive interest. Where are you at on that? Because I know the popular opinion has been of our best players in years gone by, with Romero when he was hesitant to sign a new contract, Harry Kane, that if they don't sign a new contract, go. Are you on that of that opinion, or?
Well, he's my guy. I got his fucking shirt. He's my favorite player at the club. So if you go, that's just sad. And I don't know if it's because of Frank, if there's some rumors that he doesn't like Frank and all that. But we need to keep our best players, of course. So I don't want him to go. And he's one of the best in the world on his day, of course. But again, he has bad games, of course, as well. It's everyone, sadly. So, but yeah.
Well, Better Word says, why would VDV stay after fans sticking on him like they did? I don't think the fans stuck it on him. I just think he got irate and reacted to, in general, the squad being called out for their performance and then offering a fan out to fight. That's on Mickey van der Ven. That's not on the fan.
Yeah, there's been no rumor that anything absurd was said or anything like that, too.
Yeah.
And if anything, he looked pretty hot after the game, because I think there was a decision that didn't go his way the penalty decision. The performance from the whole team was terrible. it was another game that we had lost in a row. So I think
Hit
he
the
was
bar.
honestly, I think he was just
Yeah.
pissed off, and I think he then just sort of lost his head with a
Yeah.
fan. Because I think if
Yeah.
there was something that was said that was out of line, knowing that there's so many fans
We
like
would have heard it
Daniel
by
who
now.
love the guy, like Daniel, he's one of the most loved players, like Daniel said, in the team. If something was actually said that is out of line, I think we would know,
Yeah.
that was the case.
Yeah.
But the fact that nothing has come out, that there was anything terrible said, kind of shows that maybe just Van de Ven just had a head loss.
Yeah, that lost completely.
Which I don't blame for him. I mean, it shows he
No,
cares.
I
Shows
would
that,
have had lost, to be fair. I think,
Yeah, but I don't think it's the fans' fault, to be perfectly
no,
honest.
you can't. Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, like, what do you make of, maybe we haven't talked about this one, but Anton Kinski is potentially going over to West Ham, and then we might be taking their backup goalkeeper. What do you make of that whole situation? Because it just seems like that maybe whole signing of Kinski in the first place was just kind of ridiculous if he's now going to go and become West Ham's goalkeeper. And what would be made of maybe Vicario as well this season? Do you think Vicario maybe needs to be moved on?
Well, first, Kinski. I think there is a keeper in there, but I think there was some the talks in the back, in the club that he's regressed or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, and that's bad, of course, because I think because I remember him doing really good saves. Some really miraculous saves, and even Peter Cech hyped him up because of Cech, that connection there. So it's kind of sad to see that it's not getting better, but he's not really been given. Not that he really deserves it, but given too much time to really prove too many games. Prove himself,
I think this is the thing, though, that fans need to understand at elite level, that you're only going to get so much time to prove your work. They're not going to keep giving you game after game after game until you come good. It is up to you at this level. Even if you get a run of 5 games, it's up to you to show something within them 5 games, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. And I think, I can't remember what game it was, but he gave the ball away to someone, just passed it to a player. I can't remember what it was, but
yes.
Yeah, but I mean, that West Ham keeper, I never heard of who's that?
Yeah, I know.
So that's just ridiculous. I mean, just keep him then. I mean, what? He can't be better, so that's just ridiculous. Yeah. And then on Vicario, I think probably in the long haul he needs to be replaced, but I don't think it's really right now the priority, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I think reports came out saying in the summer that Spurs are going to look at the goalkeeper situation. So,
I don't see how many we can get that are really that much better. Mm-hmm. People saying like the Man City backup, what's his name? Trafford.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was the one that fucking gave us the win.
Yeah.
So it's like, hello. He did the same thing Vicario does.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit bizarre that. I mean, maybe because he's English. Maybe I don't know.
Do you think Thomas Frank would be sacked if he lost to Burnley this weekend, Daniel, or do you think he's just going to stay in the job no matter what?
It's so difficult now because January as well with the transfer window. Like if they gave him over half now with the window, then I can't see why they're going to sack him now, even though they probably should. If he loses to Burnley, then that's just unacceptable as well as every West Ham, the Wolves results. So
the problem is,
I don't. Sorry.
I agree with you, Daniel. The problem is if you sack a manager in January, what chance have you got of trying to get any more players in? Because they're playing for. So they're not.
Yeah, they're gonna be. What's going on here? Like, who am I joining?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Daniel said it well, like saying that he's already been in charge for half the window, right? If they were going to sack him, you would sack him straight away, pretty much in the January window. You wouldn't sack him halfway through. And he needed to go. If he were to go, he had to go immediately after the West Ham game, which I'm pretty sure Daniel said earlier. The fact that he stayed on for this Dortmund game sort of just says, we don't maybe know. I mean, we were just chatting about that with Mia, Daniel. Like, we saw David Ornstein, at the Athletic. A lot of people say, oh, like there's rumors that, he might be going. And then he's, looked pretty happy after the Dortmund game. He didn't really seem like he's headed out the door anytime soon. So maybe they have no clue actually what's going on in the Spurs boardroom.
Yeah. I don't think they do have too much clues, to be honest.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't. I'm baffled by this Anai guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Vinay.
I don't know what's doing, to be honest. Don't understand his purpose.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, man. Is there anything else that maybe you want to get off your chest that we haven't asked you?
Well, it was about Odebear, maybe. Actually, some players. I don't have. Well, Odebear. I like that performance was amazing by Odebear. Absolutely fantastic. But
go on.
It just shows that he has that talent, and he's young, and he just needs to have a player now that is, better than him and older than him they can learn off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all I want, because I think this guy has talent now, but of course he's inconsistent. And that's because of his age, of course. So I just need him to, have that. We signed that better winger that he can learn off of, and I think this guy could be a really good player for us in the future.
Yeah, I like Wilson Odebear. I think he's tricky. He takes on his man a lot. But what I like about him recently is he's starting to mix up his game. If you watch last night's game back, amount of runs he made in behind when Pedro Porro had the ball, rather than looking for it to feet. With more kudos, he's always standing there. Give it to me to my feet. Give it to me to my feet. Give it to me to my feet. Sometimes you're screaming at him. There was one game where Frank took him off because he didn't make a run in behind. He took the ball to feet, gave it away, ended up conceding off the back of it. And Frank was livid with it and took him off. And I think it's one thing I like about Wilson Odebear, because a good winger mixes his game up. Drops deep, takes the ball on, looks to take his man on, but then also isn't afraid to go in behind. And all that does is it just keeps his man guessing. It doesn't make an easy day for him, and that's what it's all about as a forward player. So, long may the Wilson Odebear Free Willy 4 might be coming out soon, and hopefully he can kick on, because I do like Wilson Odebear.
Yeah, because I've been really critical of him, of course, and that's just when they play for a club. But it doesn't matter the age; they need to perform. At that when they play for the first team. Anyway, so that's why I've been really critical. But when he's got that performance last night, I thought it was unplayable, really. So I just want to praise him for that.
Yeah.
And also Xavi Simons as well was unplayable last night as well. So I can see, of course, there's talent in there as well. So I just,
I think you're spot on. I'm a big Odebear fan. I'm liking Xavi Simons more and more and more. So I completely agree with you there, Daniel. Good to have you back, man. Thanks for keeping us company. Thanks for being patient as well.
Thank you. And I'm really glad you did this one-on-one instead of all the fans, at the same time. I think it's better. Yeah.
I'm glad that you like it. It's good to hear feedback on that. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate you, dude. We'll see you hopefully next week.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Hopefully after a win instead of more drama.
Hope more and more wins, man.
More and more wins. Big up, Daniel.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
Daniel.
Yeah. Come on, you Spurs. Take care.
Come on, you Spurs. Big up, man.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Another seasoned veteran of the fan shows. Good to have Daniel back with us. And taking a comment here from Stephen J. Cam fans will forgive poor results due to a certain degree where there has been clear intent. It is frustrating that there have been games where greater intent would have produced better results. I agree with a lot of what you mean there, Stephen J. Tyler wants to see whether we play back three or not. Danzo needs to be starting, and Mickey should be left side center back or left back. Our better players are our defenders, to be honest. So there is actually some logic to that at the end of the day. And then Paul Brown saying the only article I want leaking out is the Lewis family having decided to put X amount towards THFC. They did have one article saying they're putting 150 million down. We just haven't really seen it being spent. Paul Brown, big up to you, sir. Good to have you with us. Still waiting for it. Let's keep this moving, though. We have a couple more guests left. We have Mr. Frank Out, officially Frank Out for a while now, a.k.a. Chris.
Evening, lads.
Good evening, Chris. How are we?
I'm all right. Not too bad. Let's get the formalities out of the way. Smash a like and get your super chats in, first of all. People support these two guys.
Thanks, Chris. Very kind.
Very kind of you, Chris. Very, very kind of you. What do you make of last night?
David, I am happy we won. Don't get me wrong, but still, Frank out. I'm going to praise him for last night's tactics, yeah, because he got it spot on. I have to say, the team was the right selection, and we played really well the first half. Second half, we should have gone for the juggler. We went defensive. Don't know why, but
do you understand Jack's reasoning to it yesterday? Because I was sort of your opinion, but I think Jack gave a very, very logical sort of response.
Dave, I understand it because I know he doesn't want to concede and he wants to get the home result. I understand that, yeah. But what I want to see now on Saturday, yeah, is them put a same sort of response in against Burnley. I don't want it to go back being Spursy.
Are you worried that we might drop points against Burnley, Chris? Are you not convinced that we can repeat this performance?
We have one good performance in the Champions League. Then true to form, we drop points. It's just the way we are.
So you're saying Spurs aren't back?
No, we haven't been back all season. We're still back in the dressing room from last season, mate. Come on, come on. No,
we haven't turned a corner. You didn't see us turning a corner in that game.
Jack, it was a good performance. I'm not going to get the bells and whistles out for it because of a good performance. I expect to see a performance like that every week.
Think he'll follow it up at the weekend?
You better do. You better do because now he's sort of turning something. He's turned a small corner. He's just a little dip in the road. He's just gone over it, yeah. But he's still got to know the pressure's on him to get results.
What would you say to Beethoven here? I'm just going to call him Beethoven. It's almost there. He says Thomas Frank is the right man for the job.
No, he isn't. He's a mid-table manager. I can't see us progressing with him, David. He's got a certain level of teams that he can manage, and Tottenham ain't one of them. We're too big of a club for him. There's more pressure at the top.
What's he been getting wrong for you, Chris? What is he doing wrong?
Jack, where at Brentford, it didn't matter where he finished in the league as long as he stayed in the Premier League. It wasn't you had to finish for Europe. You have to win a cup. Tottenham's a total different breed. You're expected to finish in that top half of the table. You expected to minimum in European football and a trophy as well if you can. Brentford, he didn't have that pressure there. And this is a totally different ball game. As is known with the fans. There was a question, Jack, that was asked, yeah? Can Frank win the fans over? In my opinion, I think the damage is already done.
No, I think it would be a long time for him to win a lot of people like yourself over. I think it would take a fair amount of wins, and he would probably just have to climb all the way back up in the Premier League table. Let's say, Chris, he finished 8th in the Premier League.
Not good enough.
Still no?
Not good enough.
Does he have to qualify for Europe for you to
give
him another season?
He has to qualify for Europe and show some attacking intent, none of this dire Frank ball. Because this Frank ball is boring. I can't watch a game. I fall asleep halfway through a game. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be falling asleep. I'm supposed to be enjoying myself watching the game.
Do you buy the argument he doesn't have the squad?
Bullshit. We didn't have the squad yesterday. And look at the result.
That's a fair point, actually.
David,
he had no players to pick from, and he dominated Dortmund. Surely they're not that bad.
David, surely those players are not that bad, right? We have 15 players missing yesterday. And we still, 0.6 XG in the first half for Borussia Dortmund, or 0.4, whatever it was?
The whole game. Might have been the whole game.
Whole game.
Yeah.
Right? So you're telling me, because we haven't got players, we can't play like that. So what happened yesterday then? Was that a dream? I was dreaming or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that excuse has been used too many times.
Yeah. No, 100%. Look, I don't agree with that narrative either. I think we've got some very decent players. And at the end of the day, even if people don't believe we have a great squad, it's still up to the manager to get the best out of what he's got. And I think largely this season, Thomas Frank has failed. And, everyone goes on about the squad, but you don't have a record like we do in Europe, winning the Europa League. Because, Spurs fans can dismiss the Europa League run if they want. I think that's just more born out of hate for Ange Postecoglou and diminishing the achievement than anything. Like, you look at some of them teams we played on the run last year. How many of them are in the Champions League this year and stuff like that?
David, I'll give you a prime example. Yeah, Bodo Glimt. We got mocked for playing them, and what happened to Manchester City with them last night?
Yeah. Chris, what do you make of Tyler's comment here that they turn up when they want to? Is that down to just the players not being good enough, or is that the manager that needs to get them to be able to play?
It's player mentality. It's player mentality. That's what that is. It's pure player mentality. They know they can play, but at times it's like they have to block out what Thomas Frank says just to play their own game. Because that's what it seems like it happens. He gives them a plan, and they just say, sod this, we're not doing that. We're going to do it our way. And it works. But I was surprised yesterday. Odegaard really impressed me. I have to say, he really did impress me yesterday. But I don't want to see Muani in a Spurs shirt again. The guys, well.
Do you know what, Chris, right? There was a narrative going around, but you know, sort of amongst the fan base that he doesn't want to be here. And initially I batted against it. There was just a couple of things I saw last night, like that 1-on-1 chance. Seemed like he didn't really care. And then there was another one where we had a breakaway near the end of the game. And he was just jogging, trying to get up and playing. It's little things that I noticed last night, or maybe I'm starting to come around to that idea. And then you see reports come out today saying that he doesn't want to be here, he wants to leave and play regular football.
We'll send him back to PSG then. Simple answer. Don't pander to it. Just say, all right, and you don't want to be here, go.
Yeah.
I didn't like what he done with Tell against West Ham, to be fair, because Tell was playing quite well. He should have took Muani off there and then, but no, he didn't. But
yeah.
Dave, as I said, I ain't getting overexcited about Borussia Dortmund. Play well against Burnley and play well against Frankfurt, then we'll reassess. But until then, still Frank out, still not good enough for the club, and he should have been sacked against West Ham.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. Anything else you want to get off your chest, Chris?
Let's just talk about a bit about the West Ham game. From what I saw, we were total shambles from start to finish. We didn't even deserve a point against them. We didn't even deserve anything from that game, and we got what we just deserved. Absolutely nothing. And that's me being bluntly honest.
Yeah.
Right. No, this transfer window, I could just see it being Conor Gallagher. That's it for us. This is it for the rest of the season. Seen a few rumours about Curtis Jones. Seen a few rumours about Somerville. Somerville, don't know even why that name was even mentioned, just because he scored one goal against us. Who cares? Most teams have scored goals against us. And as for that shit show Vicario, we need to get rid of that guy. That guy can't handle a long shot for anything. Showed it against Bournemouth. Showed it against West Ham again, where got beaten by Somerville's shot. Yeah, nearly cost us a goal yesterday again. Vicario not good enough. Yeah, leave him till someone and upgrade him. Let him go back to Italy like he wants.
Any goalkeepers you have in mind?
I'll bring Gunter through from the under-21s. Give him a chance.
Huge risk, though, right? At this level, huge risk.
Yeah, a huge risk, but Vicario's a bigger risk anyway. He's a risk every weekend we play him.
Yeah.
David, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, David, we need to progress, not regress. And at the moment, we've just stood still. All the cars are flying past us, and we're still stuck at the traffic lights. You know what I'm saying? We're still stuck sat behind miles behind that traffic jam while every other team's progressing.
Yeah. I do get you. You look, in terms of Vicario, I think there's been too many flaws in his games this season. As much as we criticise Frank and stuff like that, Vicario has cost us a couple of results this year. West Ham, prime example. Last
Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, he's had some howlers, and I do think it's time, because at the end of the day, you're number one. In order to rely on him, he's got to be consistent. With Vicario, 1 week he'll save you a point or earn you a point, but then he'll cost you a couple of games then after that, and it's not what you need from your keeper. You do need that. Eddie. You need someone
You need that. Your back four need to have somebody behind you who breathes confidence into that back four. If you got somebody a liability like Vicario, yeah, you've got Romero and Van der Ven looking back thinking, shit, we're gonna have to play extra hard because we can't trust this guy. But it's funny. He always barks out the orders, but he's one of the main people making mistakes.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on there.
He just barks out everybody else, but he needs to, before he barks at anybody else, he needs to stop them and think about what he's saying first, because if he actually looks in the mirror, it's him making the mistakes, costing us games. Then all the other players are like, well, what are you shouting at me for? It's your mistake.
Yeah.
Well, he should be barking at himself.
I wouldn't accept that as a player. I'd be the first one to turn around and rip the head off him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't accept that as a player. It's like you're just passing the blame.
No, I would tell Martins will be, how can you even talk to me when you're the one making the fuck up?
I do think there's a massive sort of, within the squad that no one wants to step up and take the responsibility for their own mistakes and stuff like that. It is inherent in the squad. It's like everyone.
Yeah, it is.
You even see after games, the players that go after the fans. It's like it's always the blame game rather than actually take responsibility.
Yeah, taking actions.
Believe it or not, the one player that actually took responsibility this year by his one of the statements he put out after the game was Romero. But yeah, everyone went after him for it. It's madness.
Yeah, but Dave, see, one thing with Romero, he's the captain, so he is going to naturally take all the heat. But see, these players have got to take accountability themselves, like Porro. He has one good game in about 24.
Yeah.
You get Odebert and flashes. Solanke just come back from injury, so we can't really say too much. Right? He's just come back. Let's see how he gets on over the next few weeks as he gets more game time. Mawani, just send him back. If Tillman's going on, let him go. Let's see how Conor Gallagher settles in. Xavi is improving week by week. But as I said, there's certain players that aren't stepping up. And if that's the case, leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd be surprised if there wasn't a bit of a clear out in the summer. I think, based off how the 2 seasons have gone, I think there definitely needs to be some clear out. But what I don't want to see is Tottenham continuously selling the best players. It's going to be some of the dregs of the squad that have to be on the players that just don't quite cut it. If we end up getting into a situation, but we could be forcing this summer. Romero could kick up and stink one out. Van der Ven not signing a new contract.
Yeah.
You look at it, some of our best players probably are already looking at the summer to get out.
Well, do you know what, Dave? Would you actually blame them, though, with the way the club's been going? It's like you got Johan Langer make it into a fucking kindergarten. All the youngsters. No, it's good. Okay, bring some youngsters in, fine. Let them in, fine. But you need a manager who can manage younger players. Frank ain't doing that.
Yeah. But that's
if you have something. See, Dave, right? You could bring Pochettino back, but I've always said your ex is your ex for a reason. It don't work out. So, would it be a good idea to bring Poch back? I'm not so sure. Yes, he could be good with young players, but bringing him back, it's more of a fairy tale.
Yeah, I get you, but what I will say is I do think he'd get much better out of this squad.
Yeah, he probably would, but Dave, you got to remember one thing, yeah. He ain't got the golden boys like he had back when he was there first time, when he had the Alderweireld's, he had the Vertongans, the young prime Harry Kane, the young hungry Sonny. Do you know what I'm saying? The Kyle Walkers, the Danny Roses, he ain't got them anymore.
No, but he developed them into what they were. I think Pochettino came in and what was it? Was it 2014 or so? I think it was 2014. Yeah. Kyle Walker and Danny Rose were found out on loan time and time again when he came. He turned them into sort of, what they are. You look at, Son, when we signed him, nobody knew who he was. He put him on the path like that. Yeah. Dembele from Fulham.
Fulham, yeah.
Good, decent player at Fulham, but he went on leaps and bounds underneath Pochettino.
Yeah, but the thing is, Dave,
it was Poch that sort of helped that squad become world class.
Yeah,
actually bring in world class.
I get that, but though the thing is, the standard of the players that they were there with, which were already good players, and he turned them into excellent players. We are really, if we think about it, we haven't got those great players. We've got good players. We've got Xavi, who's great on his day. Kudos, great on his day.
Yeah, but then it's up to the coach, Chris, to turn them into great players.
Yeah, right? And this is where I'm saying, Jack. This is where my thing with Thomas Frank goes out the window. I don't think he's a good enough manager for those players.
No, I don't think so either.
I completely agree, Chris.
But
That's
see,
my point too.
but this is what my point was. But with Poch here, I would like to see him come back. It would be a dream come true for him to come back if he did. But fear is, would it work out the second time? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but Frank, for me, definitely needs to go out that door. One-way taxi to the airport. Bye-bye.
Well,
Yeah.
good to have you on with us, Chris, because after you is going to be Frank's biggest fan. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to
Do
say.
you know what, Jack? Do you know what, Jack? I'm just going to stick around and listen to him. I'm just going to put some comments in the chat and just question of why he's still after the disgrace we've seen over the last 7 weeks. Yeah, how anybody can not give their heads a wobble and support for Thomas Frank.
Yeah, make sure you have a drink first, Chris, and also take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I know you have the injury and everything, and
We'll
have you back on with us,
Well,
man.
Jack,
So
Jack, I've got a physio in the next 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens from there.
Spurs one.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope we're not. Hope not. I'll be out for the rest of the season.
Anyway, Chris never failed to put a smile on my face, man.
Yeah, the comedian.
Come on, you Spurs, and Doris for manager. Doris the teenager for the manager's job.
Big up, Chris.
You have a good evening, Chris.
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
Guy's an absolute legend. Never fails to put a smile on my face. That one, we're stuck at the traffic lights, and the traffic is going by us. Absolutely brilliant on that one. Big up, Surreal. Spurs says we just need more experience. 1 or 2 youths being bedded in is okay, but not 4 or 5. Absolutely spot on. And then Q7 also says it feels like Dave only gets called David by his parents. I love it. You're not wrong there, to be fair. You're not wrong there. Usually everyone else calls me wanker and things like that, but my parents do call me David and Chris now as well, which I don't mind. Big up Q7 though. Brilliant.
Legend. All right. The time we've been waiting for. Frank's biggest fan, Frank's biggest defender. We're going to give him the floor, Ryan, and then we're going to finish things off with Paul Connor.
Hasn't been around when we've been losing, but he's back again. Good evening, Rhino. You're becoming like an Ange fan. Hiding when we're losing.
No, don't start that. Don't start that. Right? No, I haven't had the money to get a membership. That's why. Mia, if you're watching, don't bother trying to call me out. If you're going to call me out to my face, mate. Seriously.
I don't think it was a very bad intent, right? I think Mia's already having a laugh. But anyway, how have you been, lad?
Not good, mate. Got flaming everything going on. Every single day something's going wrong. So,
Yeah.
Were you worried your boy was going to get sacked over the weekend, Ryan?
Huh?
Were you worried your man was going to get sacked over the weekend? He was awfully close.
Don't know what you're talking about because, first of all, after what I've seen, right, I'm Frank. I don't give a damn anymore.
So you're turning on your boy?
Or wait, you're Frank out now?
I'm not. I'm Frank. I don't give a damn.
Where's the free pass gone?
What does that mean?
What?
What does Frank I don't give a damn mean?
What Frank don't give a damn means don't care if he stays, don't care if he goes.
Whoa, okay. So
what happened to the free pass?
Yeah, what happened to the free pass?
Well, you tell me, right, why I should now give him a free pass, right, after he's got a cup, right, with an Arsenal badge sitting on it. Don't tell me, right, that's a good look in any way, shape, or form. Sorry, but it's not, right? And when you get stuff like that happening, I don't care if I wanted to give you a free pass or not. It takes a lot for me to turn on someone. Yeah. But he's done that perfectly. He's made me turn on him just like that. Because you do not do that, right? Where you got one of your biggest rivals badges on a flaming coffee cup or whatever it is, right? And then expect us to just be happy about it. No.
You don't think it was an honest mistake?
No. It was done deliberately.
Think Frank done it deliberately or someone set him up?
I think he done it deliberately.
Look, even I don't defend Frank, and even I'm not sitting here saying he's done that deliberately.
Yeah, I think we all thought it was just an honest mistake, really.
Well, I don't care I don't care if it was an honest mistake or if it was something totally different. Right? At the end of the day, you do not be doing that on camera, right? And then expecting the world not to just then turn.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I've turned. This is the only reason why I've turned. Yeah, right. I don't give a damn because you do not do something like that, right? And it would, like I said, didn't I say to you at the beginning, Dave? It would take something dramatic for me to say I'm Frank.
I know, but where I'm at right now, I thought it would have been like the 3 wins in 15 games or something like that. That might have made you turn. The dreadful football, the shit tactics, not him. You know, coming out with an Arsenal.
It's not dreadful football. We haven't got the players. And do you know who I blame for
We had the
this?
players to beat Borussia Dortmund last night, though, right?
I'm looking at the longer term, man. Right? Look, Dave, right? I'm trying to be realistic about it, right? We keep going and blaming Frank, right? Fine. But then it's not just that, right? And I'm sorry I'm going to say this, but the shit upstairs is what we need to change.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be talking about Frank this, Frank that, Frank everything else. I want to be now talking about, I don't give a damn about, and I will say something else that's going to shock everybody. Thank you, Ange, for the trophy.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Have you been brought
like
off and had a massive
spiritual
epiphany
moment
somewhere?
or something? Did you like climb the mountains of South America? What's happening?
What's going on
Ryan,
here?
I never thought I'd hear those words.
No.
But maybe I
Because-
cut you off. Maybe you were going to say something else after that, but I cut you off.
No, I wasn't actually. I was going to be like, well, because you got to look at it from the perspective, yeah, right? It's the shit upstairs is the reason why we've got this problem. See, a load of fans.
I agree with that.
It's not about. I hate Ange, yeah, right? But I can now turn around and say thank you for the trophy.
Is that because
Yeah.
you're afraid that
Because
Frank
now-
won't win a trophy?
You know what? Call me what you like. I really couldn't care.
I didn't call you
couldn't
anything.
care.
I don't think
No,
anyone
no,
no one
no,
called you
I'm talking about
anything.
the comment. I'm talking
No,
about the
it's
comment,
just,
not
it's just saying
guys.
you flip, which isn't a bad thing. At the end of the day, you know, given evidence and stuff, you know, if it doesn't support your original opinion, it's okay to change your opinion and stuff like that. You know, it's okay. So I wouldn't be worried about that, right? But I think Mia's come in here for you. She says, I'll happily tell you to your face many a time. Flip-flop excuses, jumping on the Frank out bandwagon because Frank would be sacked.
And I've said, Mia, I don't give a damn now. I don't care. After what I've seen, Mia, I do not. I'm Frank. Don't give a damn, and that's the nicest way I could put it because I've got a lot. I've got a lot more colourful language that I could actually say, but because it's 8, it's not 9 o'clock. I can't say it. But if it was past 9 o'clock, I would say exactly what I'd want to say. But still,
To be fair,
a
Mia,
story for another day.
he did just thank Ange for the trophy, so you got to be nice with him now, Mia. At least for the next 10 minutes, you got
Yeah.
to be nice to him.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
he
got to be
did
nice
just
to him now.
He thanked Ange for the trophy, which I thought I'd never hear. And to be honest, I thought he was the most unbreakable man ever with Thomas Frank. But it looks like
Yeah.
the cup did it, Mia, by the looks of things. It wasn't the losing record, but it was the cup of all things.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
because
it's not one you put in your
did you
trophy
find
cabinet.
that a disgrace, though? Did you guys not find that a disgrace?
Yeah, it annoyed me. Don't get me wrong. It just shows that I think the guy isn't like, you know, as a Tottenham manager, you got to realize everyone's there to set you up for failure. Everyone hates Tottenham, so whether you like it or not, even if someone hands you a drink, you got to double check. You just got to double check. Like, but also, let's say if Jack handed me a drink, I'm not just gonna go. If Jack goes, get that down your neck, I'm just not gonna do that. I'm gonna look at it first, see if I like it, and then I'd realize the Arsenal logo. But at the end of it, I don't think he's done it on purpose, Ryan. And I'm not gonna get on his case and stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think that image will sum up his time at Tottenham, just like McLaren and Wally with the Brolly and stuff. But the guy didn't do it intentionally. Let's come on.
Look, I like I said, I'm done talking about what Frank and Ange and all this. I'm more wanting to talk about the ball upstairs.
Let's
it's a
get on to it.
That is a shit show at the best of times, Dave. It is. Honestly,
I
it
agree.
really is. Right? Oh my God. I don't think me and Jack and Dave have agreed on anything as much
Not
in
for a
our
long time.
entire
It's my favorite call
lives.
you've ever had, Brian, to be honest.
Blimey. But no, like it's an absolute show, clown show up there, right? Get rid of Viv and Charlie. They've lied to us, right? They've said, "Oh, well, we're going to try and change." I get it, right? Where people have said the one thing I will not changed my mind on. Yeah, right. Do you remember? I said once Levy had left, I'd rather give him one window, and that's this window. Do you remember me saying that, Dave?
Yeah.
Right. And they've done nothing. So get them out, out now.
Yeah.
Get them out before the summer, and I don't care whether it's oil money. I really couldn't care who takes us over, right? If it's oil money, fine. Yippity doo dah. I don't care, right? Okay, yeah, I know the last team to actually go up that who's pulled the ladder up, so that no one else can actually do the same things that Man City have done. Was Man City? They pulled the ladder up. So no one else can do the same thing. So it's just them against everybody else. But we can still have oil money. Thank you, bruv. Like we can still have oil money, right? And because we've got FFP, we can spend something like what 400 million in like without breaking the FFP, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know what the exact figure is, but there's a fair amount.
It's something like that. It's something like that. Right, but then you also get the lenience of the first 3 years as well. So why not? Why not go out there and spend? Because we are financially, we are one of the richest clubs in this whole in the whole of England. One of the richest clubs in the whole of England. And if we have this oil money, right, we can then be probably the richest club up there with Man City. And our financial, and we still be fine. We could probably spend, I'd say, what, 800 million, right? Without having, because of that leeway of the first 3 years, if you know, like Newcastle had, right? Then we can literally spend 800 million and get this whole team rebuilt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look. At the end of the day, do you know what? It's not even about money, Ryan. I think ENIC built the club into its sort of a self-sustainable model beyond whoever takes this on in terms of the revenue for the Skywalk, you know, the stadium tours, fucking concerts, boxing, everything else. What you need now is just an owner with ambition, an owner that wants to go and win trophies, an owner that walks into a boardroom table, you know, slaps his dick on the table and says, mine's bigger than yours. You know what I mean? Uses it as, you know, he's basically toy. You know, where he just wants to show it off. You know, that's basically what we need. Just someone with a bit of ambition. I don't even think money matters at this point with the amount of additional revenue we've come in left, right, and centre. Yeah,
true. But it's annoying, Dave, because like this board I can't deal with this board anymore. I can't. It's still ENIC. Exactly, ENIC out. I think. Do you know what? I think AK wants me and Mia to have an argument about it, and I'll argue about it with her all day if she in whatever time, in whichever universe she wants to argue with me about it. Shags. I don't know.
Yeah, Shags.
Anyway.
I would have said Mars last week, you know, with your opinion on Frank, but since you've come round to reality, you know, I'd say you can have that debate on planet Earth now.
I'll have it on. I'll have it on, mate. I really couldn't care, to be honest. But no, seriously, right? When it comes down to this board, they need to just go now. They need to foxtrot Oscar out of here and sell it out.
Yeah.
Now they really do, Dave, because it's absolutely shambolic. I said I'd only give them one window, and that's what I'm going to stick by. And they haven't done anything. All right, they brought what? Conor Gallagher in. Whoopee. Oh yeah, because he's really going to change everything up, isn't he? On his own. Of course he isn't. Come on. Yeah. We need players who are going to have some sort of quality towards them.
Yeah. What do you make of Brad's comment here, Rhino? He says we'll probably be bought by an olive oil company, knowing our luck, instead of actually rich oil owners.
A lot of money in olive oil.
It's expensive nowadays.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, but it's not 10 billion estimated expensive though, is it?
Fewer olive trees in the world every year, Ryan. It could become more and more expensive. You never know. But Ryan, anything else that you wanted to get off your chest before we let you go?
Oh, well, I don't know really. It's just annoying because the game yesterday, right? I tell you who I did like yesterday. You know the guy that came on, the 17-year-old who was only
Byfield?
17. Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
He was the one that played 67. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he looks like a good little player, man. He really does. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what? It's funny because I think he plays left back, does he? Or
Plays
was it
center back,
he's
but he
centre
came
back.
on as a fullback for us.
oh, okay. Well, then he could be the next. I don't even want to sound this. I don't want to. I'm not trying to put fire up his arse and making him putting him on a pedestal, but he could potentially be a new Ledley King. He potentially could be. Just like I was, every time I saw him, I was like, please give it to him. Let him win things in the air. And do you know what? He did. He won absolutely everything. I know he's only 17 years old and 46 days up. 17 years old and 46 days up. No, 17 years and 46 days old. But do you know what? If he looks ready already to jump into that first team.
Yeah, no, he's the
Personally,
next.
I think he might even be ready. And do you
Better
know what?
than Ledley
would
King. He'll be
actually-
the next Maldini. That's Spurs. Even better.
Do you know what? It doesn't matter though, right? Because at the moment he's so young, he still needs to improve. That's not.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm not putting him on any kind of a pedestal because
No,
at the moment I was saying where he could potentially get to, and if he's anywhere near as good as half as decent as what Ledley was, right, with one knee, that we all know that Ledley King was absolutely amazing when he only had one knee. I mean, two knees would have been better, really, wouldn't it? But with one knee, right, if he's even half as good as what Ledley was, I'd put him straight into that first team.
Yeah.
Honestly,
no,
I really would.
Ryan.
I would,
100%
'cause
Ryan.
I love to see what young players can do, and he has proven to me that he should have a chance against Burnley over the weekend. Definitely, he should. Then that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, right? But I think Frank should give him a run out now and see how he goes. Yeah, he's going to make mistakes, but let's not get on his back for it. Please.
Yeah, sure. Well, Ryan, thanks for coming on, man. Good to have you back, and probably one of my favorite call-ins you've ever done.
Well, I mean, I just can't believe that you and Dave have actually agreed on absolutely everything tonight.
No, but I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
I think. Well, no, it's not the first. I think it might have been the first time since I first came on for the first ever call. I think.
Yeah.
And
No,
so
well,
that's crazy, isn't it? Really.
it is crazy. It is crazy. Well, Ryan, appreciate you coming on, man.
One more thing. Sorry, Paul. Paul, why am I calling you Paul? Jack,
That's all right. Paul's right after you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to wish Saba whatever he does in his next endeavours. I hope he does well in whatever he's doing next because, mate, we're all gonna miss you. But at the end of the day, I just hope you'll do well for yourself in whatever you do next, and take no notice of the trolls as well, Sav, man. Just do your thing until the end of March, and then let's get out. Out and then do your thing, man. But much love, Sav. So yeah.
Good words, Rhino. Best call in a long time, Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ryan.
that's what I was saying to Jack. Like, I don't think we've actually agreed as much as we did have in a very long time. Probably since the first ever call I made into you guys, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Great
And
call,
hopefully
Rhino.
see you next week.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one,
Have a
Ryan.
good
Have a
evening,
good rest of your
Rhino.
night. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Good calling from Rhino. Enjoyed that, actually. And he put a smile on my face. So fair play, Rhino.
Yeah, fair play. Absolutely fair play. But let's keep this moving. One last guest, and it is going to be the one and only Paul. It's been a while, Paul. Good to see you, Paul.
Good evening. Nice to see you.
You're our closer for the evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. You?
Doing okay. We're making sense of course, the Thomas Frank situation and, just Spurs in general. I mean, we haven't spoken to you in a while, Paul. So what have you made of Thomas Frank so far in this season?
For me, I kind of expected the first couple of months to be a bit topsy-turvy, while you got used to the players and the club and the fans. But then as time goes on, I expect to see some improvements, and we've just not done it. and it's like it took him to have his back against the wall against Dortmund to actually play like we should be playing every week.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, too little too late for me. And it's a shame really, because I was excited about his appointment. I wanted him to come in, coach these younger players we've got, not exactly turn them into superstars in the first season, but at least get them playing consistently, and I thought that's how we started, sort the defense out because we leaked so many goals last season. So I kind of expected him to go defensive. But then as the season's gone on and he's got used to the players, he should have been getting more adventurous, and he just hasn't, and the amount of rotation, I just don't believe he's found his best 11 yet. When all our players are fit or they're just about to come fit, somebody's coming back, somebody else picks up an injury. And it's kind of like I don't think he's ever had our best 11 available in the sense of, so I feel sorry for him in a way in that sense, but he should have done better with the squad that he's got.
Just quickly, I want to bring some breaking news. Lucas Bergvall is now out for 2 to 3 months, being brought by a Swedish media outlet.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, there goes another one. Have you got the theme tune? Another one bites the dust.
Only one midfielder left at this stage. What is it? Archie Gray?
It's all right. I'm ready. I've been in the gym. I'm ready, Jacka.
Conor Gallagher too, I guess. But Conor Gallagher, against Frankfurt next week, we literally will only have one midfielder unless Paulinho can make a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
I can see him. If that's the case, I can see what he did with the substitution, putting Porro into the midfield and playing Byron on the right side.
Byfield might play at the weekend.
Yeah, he might get his wish, Ryan.
Well, after all, Porro was playing all midfield last season. In all fairness, he was never at right back. He was never there.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, we were making that joke.
The amount of goals that went down that side was crazy. But for me, it's just I've just lost confidence in thinking he's going to turn this around, and it's hard for me in the sense of he should be doing better with the players he's got.
Confidence? Last night not give you any more confidence, Paul?
It did, but then again, I've said this for years with Tottenham. On our day, we can beat anybody. We can beat Man City. We can beat Arsenal. We can beat Liverpool. But how often do we turn up and actually do that? We don't do it week in, week out. As you said, we always play better when our backs are against the wall. It reminds me of that Champions League run we had in 2019. Every game we had, our backs were totally against the wall. We weren't expected to win it. We were the complete underdogs all the way through, and we perform like prime Barcelona. But I just can't understand why we can't seem to do that in our league campaigns. And we haven't done that since 1961. We haven't been consistent. Even under Poch, we were losing silly games in the league. It's kind of common. There's been times like when we're up against Leicester, we should have won that league. That league was ours. But what did we do? We were losing silly games to clubs we should be beating. But then again, Spurs have always done that. We play lower league opposition. We think, it's going to be an easy day at the office. We go out and Sunday league and then we get beaten. And we're like, well, how did that happen? It's kind of, but it's been like that for years. Yeah. No matter what manager's been in here, we've never really had a really good, consistent run of form in years. And that's why I was hoping Frank was going to come in and change, settle the squad down, start, even if we nicked a draw or, just getting those scrappy wins, those 1-0s over the line, that wouldn't have bothered me in the first 6 to 8 months. But we're not. We're losing games and we're not even scrapping for them. We're not even showing up for half of them.
Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Look, I don't think the players are buying into what Frank is trying to do with them, or the tactics and stuff like that. And it goes back to when Mickey van der Ven has sort of ignored him against Chelsea, and then you see reports and rumors coming out recently, reports that Van der Ven doesn't want to sign a new contract under Thomas Frank and stuff like that. So look, I just don't think he's a Tottenham manager. I don't think he's the right guy to take this forward. I don't think he's the right guy to burden the pressure that comes with being a Tottenham manager, and I just think he's trying to lower the standards to suit himself rather than actually raise the standards, which is what we need at Tottenham Hotspur. Look, of course, everything isn't Frank's fault. I'm not going to sit here and paint out like it is. To Ryan's point, who was on before you, or the board also have to be culpable. And to Andrew Bernay's point here, it's just big up, lads. Still only one player in. We'll never change. I mean, again, the board just never do enough under any manager. But this is why I do think that the quality of manager we bring in is important at Tottenham Hotspur, because they're never going to have a complete squad under this ownership. No manager, my whole lifetime supporting this club, no manager has ever had a perfect squad. But good managers have got much more out of what they've had than poor managers, and that's why I do think the level of manager really matters at this club.
Yeah, and it's, as I said, for me, it's like I've just lost confidence in him. Yes, it was a good game yesterday, but let's see against Burnley at the weekend. Are we going to go back to the dross we've been seeing for the last 2.5 years, effectively? Ever since that 10-game win, we've been playing. We've never played a full 90 minutes of football. We have, a game of two halves in our sense. It's always one half or the other, where we turn up and start to perform. So, yeah, for me, it's always been a consistency issue. But again, like Ryan said, it's from top to bottom. This whole club is just from top to bottom is rotten. It's rotten to the core, effectively, and then we get Links coming out. And I know he's obviously been squashed by West Ham, but Somerville, don't we learn buying these players from relegation clubs?
Yeah.
And look where we are now.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. But
I just want to call one thing out here, Paul. Sorry, just quickly. Tara P in the chat. I mean, you're just not listening. Like, none of us are sitting here saying we want Frank in or defending him. Like, at the end of the day, I think, we've made our points clear over here, myself and Jack anyway, that we don't believe in Thomas Frank. Results and everything else have given us reasons not to be. But, to your point, saying, oh, now everyone wants Frank in. No, there's no point in lambasting the guy after a win. You got to be fair and give credit where credit's due, because if you win and you're still like, get him gone and, this, that, and everything else, then it just becomes an agenda. At the end of the day, I just know that this guy isn't going to last at Tottenham. So there's no point in me lambasting him after a win, because he's going to get himself in hot water again in the next couple of matches anyway. He's going to give me an excuse to go after him again in the future. It's
cruel to, once he gets a decent win, to just still be, calling him out and, doing this and that. Like David said, we'll probably in 2 or 3 weeks be back to talking about how he isn't good enough. But right now, you have to give him his praise for the win. But if you're going to still ask us, if we're Frank in or not, no one has said that they're Frank in. So
I'm sorry,
yeah, use your ears. But sorry about that, Paul. I mean, what do you made of the debate, though? Because a lot of people maybe just on the whole, I guess maybe you did say this, but a lot of people feel like, the squad isn't good enough no matter what manager comes in. Do you think that a manager could come in, though, and at least be having us pushing for 7th or 8th, maybe in the league, somewhere in a European spot?
Yeah, and even though I say the players aren't good enough, they're not good enough for Tottenham in a sense to where we want to be. We want to be at the top of the league, and these players are showing no desire, no fight, no anything to actually get us there. So to me, you don't want to play for the badge. Don't let the back door at your arse on the way out, because it's simple as that for me. You don't want to play for the club? Go. I want players here that want to play for the club and put their heart and soul on that pitch every single week. And I don't see it. I really don't see it. I see them walking around the pitch when they go 1-0 down. They're just passing it sideways, backwards and forwards, not trying to do anything. Yes, they're good players and they should be performing higher than where they are in the league, but they're not challengers on all 4 fronts. They're not those sort of players. So to me, we need to be buying players that are better than what we currently have, like we did with Kudos. He was better than Johnson. Yes, he's not going to be our number 1 right winger when we're at the top of the league, but it's better than what we've got now. We have to build this squad in small steps, because it's in such a state right now that nobody's got any confidence in the players that are actually playing for us right now. And the players don't have the confidence either. You can see that on the pitch. They're just tippy-tapping it around the place. They don't want to try anything. They don't want to do anything. Whereas yesterday, they went on the front foot and they went after them. Let's start to see that a bit more often. Develop your games. Start pressing these teams. Start going after teams. Stop sitting back and going, oh, well, we've lost the last 24. It doesn't matter. We lose another one. Because that's how it seems to me. But I just want better players, and than what we've got. So I don't want to be buying any more youngsters that are promising or coming through that are going to need 2 or 3 years to get there. I want players that can walk into this squad right now, like Conor Gallagher. prime example. To me, he's now one of our best midfielders at the club, because in the sense, he's captained Chelsea. He's come through the youth ranks in this country. He knows what it's like. He knows how hard it is to make it.
Yeah.
So all these youngsters like Archie Gray, Bergvall, Matt Tell, Odebert, they're going to look up to somebody like that because he's quite close to him in age, because he's been there. He's done it. He's gone through the academy system. He's come through the system and he's captained his childhood club. What better? They're the sort of players I want us to be bringing in. Better role models for these players that can develop them and learn. And then hopefully our younger players will surpass him. Isn't that what most people want? They want the players that look up to them to surpass them, because that's what I want them to do. But at the minute, we don't have any experience in that team that's regularly in the team to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's the hardest thing for me, and that's why I don't think we're seeing the best of Tell, Odebert, Gray, Bergvall, all these younger players coming through. But where's the experience in front of them for them to learn from? They shouldn't be our starting 11 right now. Yeah. They're not ready to be in our starting 11 every week at a club like Tottenham Hotspur. We should have better players in there that they can learn from, and they can be rotated in those FA Cup games, those things to get the 90 minutes, but they can also come on and get a good 30 minutes run out in the league. We're 2 up, bring them on, start to learn, build their confidence up. At the minute, I think all we're doing is kicking them into the ground, because we lose every week. And what's that going to do to a young player's morale? He's going to be sitting there going, I'm going to go out and play again. We're going to lose again this week. Yeah. I just feel there's no leadership in that team to pull, and drag them up kicking and screaming, whether they like it or not.
And the thing is, Paul, if they're not going to go out and buy them sort of players, bring in a manager then that'll do that. But exactly. This club has missed the trick the last 2 times. Ange Postecoglou sitting there about wanting to win trophies and stuff, and they bring in Archie Gray, and a load of other youngsters and stuff like that. Then, you bring in Thomas Frank with a young squad. He didn't even have an academy at Brentford. Didn't have to work with them. It's absolutely madness, some of the decision making they make, in this football club. Honestly, it's not hard. Match your recruitment up with a manager to the style of play that you want implemented. It's really not a difficult concept to understand, but for some reason, for everyone inside this club at decision-making level, it seems to be very hard to, concept to put in place.
I just think the board level, they worry too much about, how these managers are going to fit into the club and what they're going to do and what they're supposedly good at. We never seen behind the scenes at Brentford what Frank was like and what he was like. And yes, everybody loved him, but everybody loved Ange, apparently, in our backroom staff, and our players. But that doesn't mean that they've got the finished product. Yeah. And as you said, I think Frank was a good appointment at the time. It was a risky appointment. We all said, well, let's see how he does. He's known for coaching players and making them get better. Yeah. But at Brentford, he only had 1 game a week. So he had a whole week on the training pitch every week to be able to train these players. A good 8 hours every day. That's 40 hours a week on the training pitch. We're barely getting 20.
But this is why I don't buy that.
You're spot on, Paul.
This is why I don't buy the squad narrative. At the end of the day, you brought in a coach that everyone claimed to me he was going to improve players. So the minute he fails at that, don't start turning around to me saying we need a better squad now. Call him out. Call the guy out for not doing what everyone thought he would do.
And that's what it is for me. It's just what I mean. That's why I've kind of lost confidence in him, because for me, all I see is the same team out every week. Never see any of our youngsters coming through. Keeps going with Moani. I'm not being funny, but Dane Scarlett couldn't do much worse. Playing up front. Give these youngsters, give them time. If you're not going to go for it and you're going to sit back, at least give the minutes to somebody who's going to be here next season. But knowing Spurs will, he hasn't performed on his loan, we'll go and spend 40 million on him and bring him in the summer, because that's what we do.
At this rate, I don't think it's sign on a contract if Spurs offered one, to be brutally honest. Seems like he wants out of here. But Paul, anything else you want to get off your chest before we let you go, buddy?
I just want to see the club start, acting with the ambition, all these nice words and lovely words they keep coming out with. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, then we're going to do this. This is where we want to be. This is what we want to do. I've heard challenging on all four fronts. I've heard we're going to show ambition in the transfer market. We're going to do everything. And then when it actually gets to it, we do sweet FA. And that's my biggest problem. Don't give us all these nice words, to stop all the protests and everything else. Then all of a sudden you come out and go, now's the business end. Yes, I know January's a bit harder to do your deals, but what's wrong with slapping down a big bid and going, we're desperate and clubs know it. So we're going to pay more, whether that's now or in the summer. So do you know what I mean? We're going to get robbed anyway. So it's kind of like, just go out there and get the players you want, And yeah, we might not get Wharton and stuff like that, but we haven't even bought a left winger yet, and Son left in all, like literally mid pre-season. How have we not replaced him yet? And this is the thing. And also, everyone keeps saying about Spence, like Bale against Inter Milan. I don't think he was like Bale against Inter Milan, but I remember, I think it was it good old Harry? Because Bale started off as a left back at our club, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he moved him to left winger, and that changed his whole career trajectory. And I think maybe Spence might have found his space in this team that he can make his own. And if he does that, then all the better.
I remember you put in a comment similar yesterday, actually, in the watch along about that. It's an interesting theory. It'd be interesting to see if any manager does that with Jed Spence. To be fair. But Paul, great calling, my man, and we'll speak again very, very soon.
No worries. All I'm going to say is hopefully we'll beat Burnley on the weekend. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Hope we get a win. I don't want to have to talk about a loss. I really don't.
Against Burnley, anyway.
Not against Burnley, please.
Burnley.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you, sir. Thanks for being patient as well.
No worries. See you later.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, good closer there. And Paul, good to have him back. It's been a while, too, in his case. So it was actually, as per usual with Paul, makes a lot of sense.
No, I like Paul. I think he's got a lot of good things to say. I had a good conversation with him there. Was that the weekend? I think it was at the weekend. On the phone with him about all things Tottenham Hotspur and stuff like that. And it's good to see him back. Good to see him back. Anyway, I think it's time for me to go and have my dinner, Jacko.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that. Thank you, everybody, for all the support today. Thanks for everybody taking advantage of their memberships. Good to have so many people back on, taking advantage of it. And we'll see you all tomorrow for the podcast with the Irish boys later in the evening around 6:30. So do join us for that, everybody. And looking forward to the weekend. Hopefully another win with Spurs and Burnley. Come on, you Spurs. See you next time, everybody.
Spurs. See you soon, everyone.